And Major League Baseball is telling us this game is going to begin on time, which is a big surprise to those of us who spent most of the afternoon here at Busch Stadium today. Coming up on our pregame show, we'll hear from Dave Campbell, get his thoughts and insight on tonight's Game 3, and also a conversation with the general manager of the Boston Red Sox, Theo Epstein. Tonight's game is brought to you by GM Certified Used Vehicles. Hit your own home run with GM Certified Used Vehicles. Inspected, reconditioned, always a good decision. And by Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers. Dave Campbell will join me when we come back to St. Louis. You're listening to the Sam's Club pregame show on ESPN Radio.
Order, please.
Relax, Mr. Quigley. I've never lost a case. Okay, this is my first case, but don't worry. I'm kind of psychic, and I have a good feeling about this.
Some people need work instilling confidence. To others, it comes naturally, like the folks at GM Optimum, where all our used vehicles pass a 150-point inspection and come with a 30-day, 2,500-kilometer exchange privilege. And they're all backed by General Motors.
Wait a minute, I'm getting something. Ouch. Better change your plea to guilty.
GM Optimum, something new in used vehicles.
Hi, this is Jonathan Carroll from iTravel 2000. Discover the new world of iTravel2000.com. We've just launched a new, faster, fuller version of our website. And while you're there, sign up to win one of 10 trips for 2 that we'll be drawing over the next 10 weeks. Call or visit us at
iTravel2000.com. Dial 1-866-WOW-DEAL and get away for less. 1-866-WOW-DEAL.
Let me describe my office. Lots of chrome, service is prompt, there's a constant bustle, and a hungry atmosphere. Why is this my office? Because all I need is email on my BlackBerry, and I can deal with anything. So my office can be anywhere. Anywhere there's good coffee.
BlackBerry handheld from Rogers Wireless. Redefining where you do email. Check out phone and email plans starting at $45 a month. Visit Rogers.com/BlackBerry. Your world right now.
Driving down that road again, sure could use a friend to lend a helping hand.
Since 1956, Speedy is where Canadians go when they need a new muffler. And right now, during our fall muffler sale, most standard mufflers for domestic cars and light trucks are only $24.90. All others, including Dynamax and DNX Performance mufflers, are 30% off. For great savings and quality mufflers, it's Speedy Muffler, Brake, and Wheel. Still the king of mufflers.
Welcome back to Busch Stadium in St. Louis. I'm Dan Schulman with you here on the Sam's Club pregame show, live from field level, where we're going to get dusted here with some drying agents if we don't get out of the way pretty fast, as they're trying to get as much moisture off the field and off the dirt as they possibly can. Joining me now is Dave Campbell. The Cardinals are down 2-0. What do they have to do to play better here at home?
Well, first of all, they've got to stop hemorrhaging in the first inning. In the last 9 ball games, 7 against Houston and 2 against the Red Sox, they've allowed first inning runs in 8 out of the 9 games. Only Willie Williams shut them down. They've allowed 15 runs in the first inning. That's got to stop.
Jeff Suppan has won some very big games for the Cardinals in the postseason. Is he the man for the job tonight?
He is, and one thing to watch, in the 3 games he's pitched in postseason, Dave Duncan has visited the mound early in the ball game after he's been touched up. After Duncan has come out, he's retired 14 in a row, 10 in a row, 9 in a row, 33 in a row. That's a perfect game plus 6. I said to Duncan, why don't you come out after the first guy gets on? And I said, what do you tell him? He said, all I do is come out and give him a plan to get that particular hitter out, and sometimes it manifests itself into something good.
What about Pedro? We almost forget that this conceivably could be his last outing in a Boston uniform. That aside, he's pitching for a team trying to win a world championship right now. What about him?
Well, he gets a break tonight because the weather's warm. He hates cold weather, but he has not been that special in postseason. He's pitched 20 innings, allowed 31 base runners and 12 earned runs. He's clearly not what he was once about a time, but he's still pretty darn good.
All right, 30 seconds left. One more thought.
How about Dan O'Neill of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, the curse of the Keith. 1982, the Cardinals won it. They traded Keith Hernandez. They lost in 85, Don Deckinger's call. 87, Jack Clark got hurt. They lost the LCS in 96. 0002 in a division series. Keith Hernandez was number 37. It's been 37 years since the Cardinals played the Red Sox. Jeff Suppan tonight is number 37. In 1918, when the Red Sox add 19 and 18 together, you got it, 37.
So you're saying both of these franchises are cursed.
The curse, thanks to Dan O'Neill of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
Presumably somebody's got to win, and presumably we're going to play tonight because the rain has subsided, and we're getting closer to first pitch of tonight's Game 3 of the 2004 World Series. When we come back, a conversation with the GM of the Red Sox, Theo Epstein. The Sam's Club pregame show on ESPN Radio continues after these messages from your local station.
Dedication to excellence is the hallmark of Mercedes-Benz. At Silver Star Mercedes-Benz, that excellence is manifold. Before selecting your pre-owned Mercedes, visit Silver Star for a whole new pre-owned experience. North America's largest indoor display of pre-owned Mercedes-Benz vehicles awaits you. Over 200 cars displayed at Silver Star Mercedes' new 40,000 square foot showroom, and every one backed by the rigorous Mercedes-Benz certification process. A star-certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz from Silver Star Mercedes-Benz, McCary Corner Ferrier. You could drive a new car, or you could drive a Mercedes.
What you got in your bag? Visit PC Info's online store for all your computing needs. Full systems, components, or software. PCInfocomputers.com has it. With full systems starting from just $419. Whether you're tweaking for graphics, sound, business, or kick-ass gaming, PCInfocomputers.com. And every PC Info machine comes with a 3-year warranty and tech support 7 days a week. PCInfocomputers.com. Or stop by PC Info on St. Charles and Pierrepont and on Curie Labelle Boulevard in Laval. PCInfocomputers.com. Created by Menix Design.
Big and tall-sized men, don't despair. MH Grover & Sons has your perfect fit. Get today's fall fashions in the sizes you need. Columbia ski jackets, 3-in-1 in sizes up to 6XL. Winter coats up to 7XL. Suits up to size 70. Jeans up to size 72. Shoes up to size 17. Get hot names like Nautica, Pele, and Jack Victor. MH Grover & Sons, 4741 Wellington, corner 3rd Avenue in Verdun. Or call 769-3771. MH Grover & Sons. They never met a man they could not handle.
Howdy. Are you having an affair at the office, at home, or at the Barbie Barn, home of the world's greatest spare ribs and chicken? Let us cater and deliver your party anytime, anywhere. Our party rooms can accommodate 20 to 250 guests, and all the facilities are free. You and your guests deserve the best, and that's home-cooked food from the Barbie Barn on Guy Street downtown and Sources Boulevard in the West Island.
Back here at Busch Stadium, Dan Schulman with you at field level here in St. Louis. You're listening to the pregame show for Game 3 of the 2004 World Series here on ESPN Radio. The Boston Red Sox up 2-0 in the World Series, perhaps on the verge of winning the World Series for the first time in 86 years. A conversation now with the man who put part of this team together over the last couple of years, GM Theo Epstein.
Theo, you've got such an interesting mix of personalities in there. You've got some, old school intense guys like Varitek and Miller, and then you got some, the long-haired, free-spirited guys. Yet it works. How do all these guys make it work together?
Well, I think the common denominator is they're guys who love to play the game, love to compete, and have fun doing it. And they're also all very supportive teammates. So I think the way you come back from playing 500 ball for 3 months, the way you come back from being down 3-0 to the Yankees, is you do it for your teammates. You don't do it for yourself. And you can pick any guy in there. He's probably more concerned about not ending the season for his 24 teammates than he is about his own stats. And that's what makes us tick.
When you're looking at picking up players, or middle of the season, when you looked at Cabrera and Minkiewicz and Roberts, the intangibles, the chemistry, how important is that to you?
It's important, and it's not an exact science, but you can do some research and do your due diligence. And what we try to talk to people who've played with those guys, and we have a good network of scouts, so we can talk to 2 or 3 people who've been in the clubhouse as a teammate with that player and find out, is he the type of guy who's happy if the team loses but he went 3 for 4? Or is he the type of guy who's upset, if the team lost and he went 3 for 4? Is he the kind of guy who, if the teammate's struggling, he's looking to take his job? Or is he the type of guy who's patting him on the back, helping him get out of his slump? And those things all matter, and especially in Boston, we got the smallest clubhouse in the league. We got the most media in the league. You need people who play for the teammates and play to win, not play for the attention and read the papers too much and get distracted.
When you walked into that clubhouse after Game 3 or prior to Game 4 of the Yankee series, was it the same bunch of guys still strong in their belief that they could come back and win it?
The players players were great. They were nice and loose and relaxed. I was still kind of numb from Game 3 because I thought we played our worst game of the year at the most important time. But then, the New York writers started asking everyone about our offseason, what was going to happen with our free agents. And we say, hey, we're one of the few teams in baseball that can get to the World Series. All we got to do is win 4 games in a row. We've done it before. And the more they asked us about it, the more and we shot back at them. I think the more we believed it, and it happened. So the players deserve all the credit in the world. I'm still in awe of their ability to fight off that adversity, play 1 game at a time, and beat the Yankees 4 in a row.
Finally, as someone who grew up in Boston, you're Fenway, a Red Sox fan, your story is well known at this point. What do people of Boston say to you when they recognize you on the street about what this run means to them?
Well, you don't even have to listen. You can kind of see it in their eye that it's very meaningful to them, not only because they're finally getting to experience a Red Sox World Series, hopefully a Red Sox World Series victory, but for their fathers and mothers who were big Red Sox fans, and their grandfathers and grandmothers. There's such a connection through history for the Red Sox in Boston that we kind of carry the weight of 86 years on our shoulders, but it's not a burden. It's almost a privilege to be able to try to win it for those fans.
Congratulations on a great run. Whatever happens next, good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it.
Theo Epstein, the 30-year-old GM of the Red Sox, who, by the way, was born in New York, but moved to the Boston area when he was 4 and grew up a Red Sox fan. The introductions of the Cardinals, the starting lineups of the ball game, all coming up. You're listening to the Sam's Club pregame show on ESPN Radio.
The right-at-home feeling of Bar Hymas isn't just available later in the day. Bar Hymas is now open for breakfast, too. For lunch, dinner, and now first thing in the morning. Light or hearty, Bar Hymas serves it fresh. And always with the friendly service that's made Bar Hymas a favorite home away from home. And at Bar Hymas, breakfast begins at 6 a.m. and starts at under $3. That's under $3. Bar Hymas, 177 Hymas in Point Claire. If you find a cheaper breakfast anywhere else, you probably shouldn't put it in your mouth.
If your hair is moving in the wrong direction, if you notice thinning in all the wrong places, don't be embarrassed. You can stop it in its tracks before it's too late. Antech Hair Laboratories have been successfully treating hair loss for over 25 years. Their all-natural proven methods use no drugs, no steroids, and no painful surgery. With their money-back guarantee, you can't afford not to call for a free confidential consultation. Antech Hair Laboratories. Stop hair loss in its tracks today. Call 843-4300. That's 843-4300.
Unfortunately, today you have to protect yourself from theft, and your car is one of the first things to get stolen. For the best protection, invest in a Garaga garage door from The Door Doctor. They'll beautify your home while giving you that extra peace of mind that you have a safe and secure garage door. Choose from 3 stylish Garaga models in 17 different colors and 2 finishes. Door Doctor expert technicians will measure your garage to ensure your new garage door has a perfect fit. Call The Door Doctor today at 631-3130. That's 631-3130.
If you have a product or service to sell online, you need to speak to VeryPayment.com. Committed to providing state-of-the-art verified payment processing, VeryPayment allows you to accept credit cards and ACH transactions on your website instantly. Secure, safe, and an easy way to start making money today. Get a merchant account by visiting VeryPayment.com, and you'll immediately open your business up to clients worldwide. Start accepting credit cards now. Visit VeryPayment.com. That's VERIPayment.com to set up your account. VeryPayment, your verified payment solution.
St. Louis, I'm Dan Shulman with you live here on ESPN Radio. We are mere minutes away from the beginning of Game 3 of the 2004 World Series. The Red Sox leading the Cardinals 2-0. And again, for those of you who may have just joined us, it was pouring rain here all afternoon, but it somewhat miraculously stopped about half an hour ago. They got the tarp off the field. The field looks in decent shape, and we're told that this game is supposed to begin on time here tonight. Pedro Martinez is the starting pitcher for the Boston Red Sox, and Jeff Suppan will be the starter tonight for the Cardinals. One's got a much bigger name than the other, of course, but each of them, it should be pointed out, finished with identical 16-9 marks during the regular season. We're just finishing up the introductions of the Boston Red Sox here tonight, who are wearing the road grays, and momentarily we're going to get to the St. Louis Cardinals, who are going to be greeted by a huge ovation. It'll be interesting to see how their fans react. They were a little bit subdued at the beginning of Game 6 of the NLCS when the Cardinals faced elimination. They got back into it in 6, and then they were great again in Game 7. But the Cardinals, 53-28 during the regular season. They really feed off this great support that they have here at Busch Stadium. Now we're going to throw it over to the PA announcer, John Hewlett. And he's going to bring you the introductions of
And
the
now,
Cardinals.
let's welcome back to St. Louis, your National League champion, St. Louis Cardinals. Bat Boys, Josh Fugner, Nate Fitzer. Trainers, Barry Weinberg, Mark O'Neill. Strength and conditioning coach, Pete Prinzi. Physical therapist, Keith Sanders. Clubhouse personnel, Rip Rowan, Buddy Bates, Kurt Schlegel, and Eddie Null. In the bullpen catchers, Jeff Murphy and Dan Held. Coaching staff, Jose Oquendo. Mitchell Page. Dave Duncan. He's in the bullpen. Joe Patini. Marty Mason. And Dave McKay. Now the players. So Taguchi. Randy Flores. Ray King. Dan Herron. Al Reyes. Julian Tavares. Rick Ankiel. John Mabry. Jason Isringhausen. Yadier Molina. Kiko Calero. Mike Lincoln. Matt Morris. Steve Klein. Roger Cedeno. Bo Hart. Chris Carpenter. Cody McKay. Cal Eldred. Jason Marquis. Woody Williams. Ray Langford. Marlon Anderson. Hector Luna. Now the manager and starting lineup. First, manager Tony La Russa. And now the Cardinals starting lineup. Leading off and playing shortstop, Edgar Renteria. second and playing right field, Larry Walker. Batting third and playing first base, Albert Pujols. Batting cleanup and playing third base, Scott Rowland. Batting fifth and playing center field, Jim Edmonds. Batting sixth and playing left field, Reggie Sanders. Batting seventh and playing second base, Tony Womack. Batting eighth and catching in the bullpen, Mike Matheny. Batting ninth, tonight's starting pitcher, warming up in the right field bullpen, Jeff Suppan. Let's hear it, everybody, for the Boston Red Sox and your St. Louis Cardinals. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to center field. Our nation's colors are being presented tonight by Scott Air Force Base Honor Guard. Please stand and remove your caps for our national anthem. Following the anthem, please direct your attention to the sky, where two Navy FA-18s from Fighter Composite Squadron 12 will be performing a flyover. Now for tonight's national anthem, please welcome five-time Grammy winner and three-time country music female vocalist of the year, Martina McBride.
Oh, so can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
There you have it, Martina McBride with the national anthem and the flyover by two Navy FA-18 fighter jets. We are ready for baseball here at packed Busch Stadium in St. Louis. John Miller and Joe Morgan will have the call of Game 3 of the 2004 World Series. The Sam's Club pregame show on ESPN Radio continues after these messages from your local station.
What does it mean to be courageous? What does it mean to be a kid? Global News is teaming up with the Montreal Children's Hospital for a special series called Courageous Kids. 5 amazing kids, each of them battling life-threatening disorders. Tonight we'll focus on Alexei. This brave 4-year-old has already undergone 3 open-heart surgeries. In order to save his life, the cardiac surgeon will attempt to rebuild his injured heart. Courageous Kids, tonight on Global News at 6 and 11.
There's nothing more irresistible than sinking your teeth into a thick, juicy, mouth-watering steak. At Gallows Grill, you'll satisfy your cravings every time. Downtown quality for small-town prices. Enjoy slow-cooked baby back ribs, great pastas, and half-pound burgers. If your mouth is watering now, you need to get to Gallows Grill. $13.95 Dollard in LaSalle near Newman Boulevard. Why not make it a steak tonight at Gallows Grill?
If you haven't already heard of hedge funds, it's time you did. I'm Lauren Rubin of Paramount Financial Services. Hedge funds are one of Canada's fastest growing investment classes, offering positive return potential, lower volatility, and enhanced diversification, even in falling markets. Institutions such as Ontario Teachers Pension Plan, Harvard, and Yale have all increased their allocations to hedge funds. Should hedge funds have a place in your portfolio? Call me today to learn more at 905-0885. That's 905-0885.
The CFL's shining moment. Sunday, November 21st, the 92nd Grey Cup. You could be there. Join the Team 990 on a top speed run for the nation's capital. For just $199, you can board the Team 990 Grey Cup Express. Get round-trip bus transportation, a lunch of delicious Dagwood sandwiches and salads, a ticket to see it all go down at Ottawa's Frank Clair Stadium, and straight-up Team 990 style good time. Get on the Team 990 Grey Cup Express. Call 931-6053. 931-6053.
Pitch from Cole. Fastball ground to the shortstop. Couple of hops to Cabrera. The throw to first. In time. The ball game is over. And the Boston Red Sox go up in this World Series 2-0 over the Cardinals as we get ready to head back to St. Louis. The Boston Red Sox come to St. Louis with a 2-0 lead in the World Series. They've scored 17 runs and have virtually shut down the Cardinals' big 3 RBI men, Pujols, Edmonds, and Rolen, who have just 1 RBI between them. Tonight, Sox manager Terry Francona turns to a well-rested Pedro Martinez, who is making only his 4th start in 28 days. And Francona on Pedro's keys to success.
When he locates, he's very, very tough to beat because he can throw 4 different pitches, and he can elevate the ball, he can sink the ball, he can throw out, he can throw in with no problems. Like I said, when he's throwing that cutter on the outside and running that fastball in and staying out of the middle of the plate, he's tough to beat.
The Cardinals turn to 16-game winner Jeff Suppan, who has pitched clinching games against both L.A. and Houston this October. The Cardinals must win tonight, but he's not worried.
There's always highs and lows, and I think that us going against the Astros, great team, unbelievable team, and they went to 7 games, and I think that happens. This is a best set of 7, and we just have to go out and get them tomorrow.
Tonight, no designated hitter. The World Series moves to the National League Park. It's Game 3 from St. Louis next on ESPN Radio.
The 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio is presented by the United States Postal Service. With more new ways to use us than ever before, the U.S. Postal Service is working for you. Alongside Joe Morgan, here's John Miller.
And a vast sea of red surrounding the field here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Every Cardinal fan here tonight, and more than 50,000 of them are here, and it seems they are all dressed in red as the Cardinals need a win tonight as they go with their 16-game winner, Jeff Suppan, himself a former member of the Boston Red Sox. In fact, he finished last season with the Red Sox and started his career with the Boston Red Sox. Tonight, the Cardinals ask him to be the stopper up against Pedro Martinez. And Joe, Pedro has been real tough when he's had extra rest. And he's had most of his starts in this postseason, with one exception, have been on extra rest. This is only his 4th start in 28 days.
Well, Pedro, obviously, when he gets his rest, if he's throwing his fastball well, he can be a dominant pitcher. I still have, my belief is that the Cardinals can handle good pitching. I still believe that there's not a pitcher who can go through this lineup 3 or 4 times without getting touched a little bit. So I think everything still falls on Jeff Suppan. I think he's going to have to be able to hold the Red Sox within reason. But that's a tough task by itself because the Red Sox they beat you up. They just continue to get runners on base. They led the league in on-base percentage. So a little of the fact that they've been walked a lot by the Cardinals is not always just the pitcher's fault. A lot of times they're patient. They foul off pitches, etc. So Suppan is going to have to throw strikes. He's going to have to minimize the number of base runners he leaves out there. And if he can do that, then I think the Cardinals will have a chance of beating Martinez. But I don't think this is going to be a real high-scoring ball game from the Cardinals' perspective or from Boston's perspective.
Well, you're talking about that Boston offense, and in this postseason, the Red Sox are averaging 7 runs per game. And since they were on the brink of extinction in the 9th inning of Game 4 in the League Championship Series against Mariano Rivera and the Yankees, the Red Sox offense got it going, and nobody's been able to really shut them down since then. But tonight, a little bit of a different look in that lineup. The pitcher, Pedro Martinez, has to bat. David Ortiz, instead of the designated hitter and just worrying about his next at bat, has to play the field, and he's not been good the few times that he has played. And Kevin Millar, who's been that 5th place hitter many times, is out of the lineup entirely.
Well, there's no doubt that the designated hitter helped Boston when they played in the American League Park. And the lack of the designated hitter will be in the favor of the Cardinals here for those reasons you just named. But Millar has been a big part of their offense, getting on base and starting rallies. So he's out of the lineup, so that works in the Cardinals' benefit. And I don't think first base is the key defensive position on the field. They've made a lot of errors out second base, second base, and third base, and then the outfield. So first base hasn't hurt him anyway, and I don't expect that David Ortiz will be a big problem for them playing first base tonight. The one thing that you do have to do if you're the Cardinals, you have to take better advantage of the mistakes that Boston has made or will make, because they're going to make mistakes if you put pressure on them. I mean, that's the history of their ball club. Their defense is not that good. But by the same token, you have to put pressure on them, and Pedro may be able to eliminate some of that pressure.
So the Cardinals, in as dire a circumstance as has befallen them at any time this year, although in the League Championship Series they came home for Game 6 against the Astros, and just 1 game away from being eliminated by Houston. But they won that ball game, and a tense, dramatic game it was, an extra inning game, and then finally beat Roger Clemens in Game 7. So had they not been able to do that, tonight it would have been Pedro Martinez versus Roger Clemens at Minute Maid Park in Houston. But Jeff Suppan got the best of the Rocket last Thursday. He pitched the clinching game. He also pitched the clinching game at Dodger Stadium in L.A. in the division series. Now he's trying to pitch the game that will keep the Cardinals basically alive in this series.
Well, I believe whoever wins tonight's game will win the series. That's my belief. I believe if the Cardinals win the game, I think they can go on and win the series. And obviously, if Boston wins the game, they can go on and win the series as well.
You didn't say that when the Yankees won Game 3, did you?
Yes, I did. You know what? If it happens this time, I'll say it again. So percentages are not in their favor to do that. I just saw an interesting note, and that is that, few guys that have been designated hitters during the regular season, 150th game, when they played a position in the World Series, those 4 guys, they have never made an error. And again, I just don't think that first base is that big a deal defensively in 1 or 2 games. It is over the course of the season. But 1 or 2 games, I don't think it's that big a deal.
Well, the Cardinals take the field. Of course, there's making errors as a first baseman, and then there's saving errors by your other infielders, which that may be another story.
Right. I think it's imperative that the other infielders realize that they have to be a little sharper themselves.
The Cardinals are on the field, and let's take a look at the batting orders now, brought to you by Radio Shack. You've got questions, they've got answers. For the Red Sox, it'll be Johnny Damon in center field. Orlando Cabrera, shortstop. Manny Ramirez, left field. David Ortiz hitting cleanup at first base. Jason Varitek, the catcher. Bill Miller, who comes home. He grew up a Cardinals fan, grew up in this area, went to Desmet High School. Miller at third base. Trot Nixon, right field, hitting 7. Mark Bellhorn at second base. And Pedro Martinez, the pitcher, in the lineup, batting 9th. Now for the Cardinals, Edgar Renteria again at shortstop. Again, La Russa fearing on a wet field, and we had a lot of rain all day long here in St. Louis, and until maybe a little over an hour ago when they finally took the tarp off the field. So Renteria at shortstop. Womack with that bad back, and LaRussa fearing that on the wet field he might do something to re-injure that back. It'll be Larry Walker in right field. Albert Pujols, who got his bat going in Game 2. He had a 3-hit game. He's at first. Scott Rowland still looking for his first hit. Third base. Jim Edmonds, center field. Reggie Sanders, left field. Tony Womack at second base, batting 7th. Mike Matheny, the catcher, and Jeff Suppan, the pitcher. And we are all ready to go now. Suppan, 6 feet 2 inches tall, 29 years old, from Oklahoma City originally, although he went to high school in Southern California. Suppan broke into the big leagues in 1995 with the Red Sox. He was a second-round draft choice of the Red Sox. Came up through their farm system. Then was selected by the Arizona Diamondbacks in the expansion draft. So he was an original expansion Arizona Diamondback. From Kansas City, acquired him in a trade, went to the Pirates, Red Sox, and now is St. Louis, and had his best year in the big leagues. And he throws a called strike one to Johnny Damon. 65 degrees is the official game time temperature as we get underway. Here's the pitch, and that is in there. Strike 2 call. 7:37, the time of the first pitch. 65 degrees, very humid. The thunderstorms we had during the day here. 0-2 to the left-handed batting Damon. Now Suppan into his windup. The pitch on the way, and a fastball just missing, right around the knees, right around the outside corner. Johnny Damon is 3 for 11 so far in this series, a .273 average. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Now the windup, and here it comes. And that is too low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tonight's time and temperature brought to you by Hotwire.com, where you can get a 4-star hotel for a 2-star price, plus great deals on flights and car rentals in great cities like Boston and St. Louis. Log on now to Hotwire.com. Fly, sleep, drive cheap. Now Damon lines one into right field. Coming in and to his left is Walker. He makes the catch. Leaned out to his left and caught that one.
Well, Suppan at least threw strikes right away. He got 0-2, but he ended up 2-2 to Damon. But at least he got ahead in the count. And as I said the other day, I still think that they were giving the Boston hitters too much credit by trying to make perfect pitches. And maybe they'll feel more comfortable here in Busch Stadium, a bigger ballpark, and feel better about throwing strikes and trying to get ahead.
Now Orlando Cabrera, 2 for 8 in the series. He's also been hit by a pitch and has had 2 walks, so he's been on base a lot. And he's driven in 3 runs. Right-handed hitter. Jeff Suppan into his windup, delivers, and he's off the outside with ball 1. The Cardinals have Suppan on the mound with Matheny behind the plate. Pujols at first, Womack at second, Renteria at short, and Rowland at third. Sanders the left fielder, Edmonds in center, and Walker in right. Manny Ramirez on deck, 1 out. Here's the pitch. That ball is grounded foul on the third base side. And it's a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. The umpiring alignment for game 2. Brian Gorman behind the plate. Chuck Merriweather at first. Jerry Davis at second. Charlie Relaford at third. Along the left field line, Ed Montague. And along the right field line, Dale Scott. This ballpark, one of those big round ballparks of the 60s. The 1-1 pitch. And a slider, a check swing, and on appeal, ruled no swing by first base umpire Chuck Merriweather. 2 balls and a strike now to Cabrera. 330 feet to the foul poles here, 372 to the power alleys, and 400 to straightaway center, 402 feet to straightaway center. Now the pitch. Swing and a foul that will come back out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Orlando Cabrera. Manny Ramirez on deck. There's some wind, and what we're seeing of it up on the upper rim of the ballpark. The flags indicate blowing in from right and across toward left, but inside the bowl, no telling what that means. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a foul. He just got a piece of that high fastball, and he chased one up out of the zone there.
Well, if you get ahead of the hitters, they will chase some balls, but if you're behind, they're not going to chase any pitches out of the zone.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Orlando Cabrera. Here's Suppan into his windup. The pitch on the way. Swing and a liner into left center field. On the run, Edmonds to his right, reaches out and makes the catch.
He makes everything look so easy, doesn't he?
He had a long run on the wet grass out there. It's a little slippery, a little sloppy out there.
He's got a little flash out there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got some charisma when he chases the fly ball or catches it.
Well, he caught that one and on the run, kind of streaking across the green. Reached his glove hand, the right hand out, caught it. And had that little flare, but he didn't turn his back to the infield or do anything like that. No over-the-shoulder kind of a catch there. Didn't have to leap up over the wall to get it. 2 down, nobody on, and here's the slugger, Manny Ramirez. Manny, who had 43 homers to lead the American League this year. Big, strong right-handed hitter to pitch to him, and that is low for ball 1. Jerry Francona was talking about Manny before the game and just how extraordinary he is and at how hard he works at it. You said this many times, Joe.
Yeah.
What a smart hitter he is.
Yeah, and exactly like he said, he works hard at it. People think it's just natural, but he works very hard.
Keeps a book on the pitchers, studies the videos of them. Now the pitch. He swings at a fastball and fouls it straight back. Manny likes to see that pitch again, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's the point I was trying to make earlier, John. Every pitch that's a strike in the middle of the plate doesn't get hit out of the ballpark. You know, it's a tough thing to hit a Major League Baseball, hit Major League pitching. You can make mistakes during the course of the game and get away with them. I think the Cardinals were trying to be too perfect when they were pitching in Boston, and that led to a lot of those walks.
The 1-1 pitch, and it's low and inside for a ball. 2-1 now to Manny.
So there are times, in my opinion, that you pitch to a hitter's weakness. If there is a runner in scoring position, tough time in the game, you go to that weakness. Other times, you try to find another weakness. You do not have to always go to that spot every time you face a hitter.
Now the 2-1 pitch on the way. Fastball in at the knees for a called strike, and Suppan has done a very good job keeping the ball down in this inning. And Manny thought that one was too far down and complains to Brian Gorman, the plate umpire, about the call. Now the crowd, the red-clad Redbird crowd here in St. Louis, rises to its feet to root Suppan in his battle with Manny Ramirez. The 2-2 pitch. Swinging. There's a high drive. Left field, way back there and gone. A home run. Yep. 1-0 Boston as Manny Ramirez hits a shot into straightaway left and well out of here.
Well, John, all three hitters have hit the ball hard. So Suppan hasn't really fooled anyone. And he was away with the pitches, and then he tried to come inside on Manny. And again, the guy is just so good. He just reacted to the ball inside, and he hits the ball deep. But most of the time, they tried to stay away.
Well, he made that one mistake with Manny on the second pitch of the at-bat, and Manny fouled it straight back. This one, Manny did not miss. So Boston, for the third consecutive game, scores in the first inning. Scoring first, and Boston is ahead 1-0. Here is David Ortiz, another Boston slugger, and he takes a fastball over the outside for a called strike.
Over the history of baseball, there's the team that scores first wins a higher percentage of all the games. I mean, it's amazing.
Now the 1-strike delivery, and a curve in the dirt for a ball. 1 strike to Ortiz. Ortiz in this series has had 2 hits in 6 at-bats with 4 runs batted in. He's also walked 3 times. Feet wide apart. Big hulking left-handed swinger. The 1-1 pitch. That ball is hammered to right field. A liner. That's a base hit.
Well, they started off. Damon lined out to right. Cabrera lined out to center. Manny hits a home run. Now Ortiz lines to right. He is not fooling any of these Boston hitters.
So now Jason Varitek. So the Cardinals with the change of venue out of Fenway Park, which has always been a hitter's paradise. And the Red Sox in particular have always thrived in Fenway. They hit .304 there as a team this year. They hit .260. I mean, they were just sort of ordinary away from Fenway Park. But now we're in St. Louis, and it looks pretty much the same. hitting the ball sharply against the Cardinal pitcher. The batter, Jason Varitek. Switch hitter batting left-handed. Here's the pitch to him, and that is a called strike on the inside with a slider. And it is 0-1 to Varitek. Varitek, who had the big 2-run triple in the first inning of Game 2 on Sunday that put Boston ahead. That so far has been his only hit of the series. Down to pitch to him, and that misses for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bill Miller on deck. He would be next. First baseman Pujols holding in the bag against David Ortiz. This field, by the way, is very wet. It endured a lot of rain. Now the pitch. There's a swing and a pop foul that will come back out of play. Came in with a low fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Scott Rowland talked to our Peter Pasquarelli before the game and told him that the field drains real well except out in deep right field. So about the spot where Larry Walker is standing right now in right field playing deep for Varitek. There's a lot of water out there. Very sloppy and slippery out where Walker is playing. A lot of standing water still on the warning track. There's another curveball. That's in the dirt. A check swing by Varitek. And the count goes to 2-2.
Well, the infield was covered, so the infield is completely dry. You don't have problems on the infield. It's in the outfield because that's also where they empty the tarp in the outfield. So you may have some problems there, but the infielders really should have no excuses.
Now there's a 40% chance that we'll have more showers at times during this ball game. Here's the pitch. There's a swing and a bounding ball hit to second. Over to his right. Womack to get it. He flips the ball underhanded to Renteria for the force out on Ortiz, and the inning is over. But Manny Ramirez with a 2-out home run, a big fly, has put the Red Sox ahead. Now the Cardinals coming up against Pedro, and they are trailing 1-0. This is Game 3 of the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the United States Postal Service.
I'll start with you. Looking for a way to prepare for the coming season? Start at one of Toronto's 2 largest Canadian Tire stores ever, at Leslie and Shepherd or McCowan and Shepherd. Stop by one of these newly redesigned locations this Thursday through Sunday and join in the grand opening celebrations by cashing in on unbelievable deals throughout the store. It's a whole new way to shop at a Canadian Tire like you've never seen before. I'll start with you. I'll start with you. Take your dream holiday. Less than you thought you'd pay. The best price online today. SellOffVacations.com.
Our name tells only half the story. With SellOffVacations.com, you get the best last-minute prices and the best price when you book in advance.
SellOffVacations.com.
Guaranteed lowest prices today and every day. Visit SellOffVacations.com or call 1-877-SELL-OFF.
Best price online. SellOffVacations.com.
Introducing a better way to bundle. Rogers Better Choice Bundles. But who decides what goes into these bundles? Well, it's a task we've trusted to a real expert. You. Just choose a product from 2 or more Rogers services like cable, internet, or wireless, and you'll save 15% on your monthly service fees. You're the boss. So, can I have Friday off? For more on Rogers Better Choice Bundles, plus savings on home phone long distance, visit Rogers.com. Some restrictions apply. Rogers, your world right now.
You can't afford to miss Melnick in the afternoon. Here's why.
Globe and Mail's Jeff Blair at the World Series in St. Louis, talking a little bit about Jason Varitek. Now, what did he say in that scrap with A-Rod?
Essentially what he said to him is, why don't you try that crap when Pedro or Schilling are on the mound instead of Bronson Arroyo? And that was a galvanizing moment for this team. If you talk to anybody around the club, they'll tell you from that point on, it was a completely different team, and nobody's surprised that it was Jason Varitek. It kind of took the initiative.
Drive home with Melnick in the afternoon. Weekdays from 3 till 7 on Montreal Sports Authority. The Team 990.
Here come the Cardinals now, last of the first inning. And the Cardinals facing Pedro Martinez. Now, Pedro did throw 1 inning in relief on his normal day to throw in the bullpen on the side in the clinching game at Yankee Stadium last Wednesday, but has not started a game in 8 days. And we saw him in Game 2 at Yankee Stadium earlier in that series after 1 week of rest. And he really had excellent stuff that night. So here is Pedro, the first pitch to Edgar Renteria, and a fastball is low and outside for ball 1. That one 89 miles an hour.
Well, one thing that Pedro has been able to do is keep the ball down. He's been able to do that very well.
Pitch to Edgar. There's a fastball. That's a little bit high, apparently. 2-0.
In the game he started against the Yankees, he kept the ball down very well and got one up, and that's the one that overruled hit out of the ballpark.
The 2-0 pitch, and he pours in a fastball for a called strike at 90 miles an hour. 2 balls and a strike to Edgar Renteria, who is 2 for 7 with 1 run batted in this series. Larry Walker and Albert Pujols to follow. Boston ahead 1-0. A swing, a little slow roller to second. Charged by Bellhorn. He slips a little bit as he gets to the ball, recovers, picks it up, and throws to first for the out. And Renteria is out number 1.
John, you were talking about the fact that Womack was not hitting leadoff because, Tony was afraid of the injury or whatever. But once you put a player on the field, you can't protect him. You got to let him play. And I like Womack at the top of the order and Renteria down in the middle. And I'm sure that, Tony has more than the reasons than that just to do this.
Here now is Larry Walker, left-handed hitter, and he has a big swing and a miss for strike 1. Well, one thing is indisputable. Womack has never done well against Pedro as a hitter. Only 1 hit in 13 career at-bats against him. So that may have had something to do with it as well.
There had to be more than just the injury thing.
Walker takes the ball too high. One strike.
I still don't think that's enough at-bats to have a real true sampling. Plus, they were probably when Pedro was more of a power pitcher.
Now Pedro with a breaking ball. It misses up and away. 2 balls and a strike to Larry Walker. Walker had the big Game 1 4-hit game, but he was 0 for 4 in Game 2.
When Pedro was in the National League, he was a power pitcher. He could blow guys away.
Well, when he came to the American League originally, he was that pitcher too.
But he is no longer that type of a pitcher. He is a very good pitcher now. He pitches.
Now the windup, the 2-1 pitch. And it's just off the outside with a slider. And now 3-1 to Larry Walker. Albert Pujols on deck. Pedro Martinez facing the National League. He's done well in interleague games, pitching on the road. 3-1 pitch is too high. Yet another breaking ball. That was interesting. He kept throwing sliders to Larry Walker. And he ends up walking in with Albert Pujols coming up. Fans log on to ESPNradio.com and deliver your United States Postal Service question of the game to Joe Morgan. It's easy. When you get to ESPNradio.com, click the United States Postal Service question of the game link and submit your question. If your question is answered on the air, you'll receive an ESPN Radio gift pack. Albert Pujols, he got it going. In Game 2, he had 2 doubles and a single. 3 for 4. Right-handed hitter with power, and he takes a strike. And the great Pedro Martinez pitches to the great young slugger Pujols. Thousands of camera flashes cause Busch Stadium just to sparkle. 1 strike to count. Pujols had 46 home runs. He was second in the majors in home runs this year. Martinez from the stretch. 1 out, 1 on. 1-0. Boston ahead. Pedro holding a long while. Now, just as he was about to throw, timeout was granted at home plate by Gorman. Pedro went ahead and threw a fastball, and it doesn't count.
Well, I don't think you can call timeout when a guy is about to deliver the ball. If he's just standing out there, that's different.
David Ortiz holding on the bag at first against Walker. Scott Rowland is on deck. The 100 RBI men are coming up now for the Cardinals. Here's the pitch. That one is in there. Strike 2 called. 0-2 now to Albert Pujols. Pujols has only ever had 1 at-bat in his career against Pedro, and Pedro got him out.
Well, Pujols wasn't happy with the first call strike, and the last pitch looked like a perfect pitch, knee-high over the outside corner.
Walker at first. Middle infield, double play death. Now the pitch. Pujols takes too high on a high fastball, and it is 1-2. Rolling on deck. Edmonds behind him. Pujols had 123 RBIs. Rowland had 124. And Edmonds had 111 batted in. But those 3 have had only 1 run batted in the first 2 games of this series. Pedro Martinez, the veteran right-hander, ready. Turns, throws over to first, and Walker jumps back to the bag standing, and he was a little late in getting started back to first base.
Yeah, he made it a lot closer than it should have been.
One ball, 2 strikes. Second baseman Bellhorn well over toward the middle against Pujols. Here's the pitch. That ball is grounded down the third base line, diving to knock it down is Miller, and rolls by him by several feet. He has no play. Walker is safe at second, and Pujols is aboard at first with an infield hit.
Well, they play deep and they play off the line. When you do that, you have so much ground to cover toward the line, but you're actually running at an angle away from the diamond to get to it. And even if you catch it, it's going to be very difficult to throw anyone out. Their alignment is very unique. I mean, even against left-handed hitters, they're playing the shortstop, third baseman way over near shortstop and deep. If you're going to play over there, you need to play a little more shallow so you can cut off the angle of the ball.
Now Scott Rowland. The big 3 sluggers, Pujols, Rowland, and Edmonds, have had 1 hit in 10 at-bats as a group with runners in scoring position in this series. Here's Rowland with another chance, and he takes a fastball low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Rowland has not had a hit in any situation in this series, although he does have an RBI. He had a sacrifice fly in the 8th inning on Sunday. Rowland is 0 for 8. 1-0 Boston, but Walker is at second. And Pujols is at first. Here's Pedro into his stretch, the high set. Now he throws, and he throws a changeup in there for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike now. Rowland against Pedro with a chance to do some damage, but Rowland has had only 1 hit in 11 career at-bats against Pedro. In interleague play, 1-1 the count. Pedro looks at second. Still holding now. He throws. Fastball off the outside. And it's 2-1.
Rowland was not ready. I think he tried to call timeout, and the umpire wouldn't grant it there because he just stood straight up and took that pitch. I mean, he was calling timeout, and the umpire wouldn't give it to him, and I agree with that.
Now Pedro is on top. And here it comes. And a curveball. That's high. 3-1.
And Pedro, even though we've seen him throw better when he's had time off, he doesn't seem to have the good fastball tonight. And the reason I said it is he seems like he's dropping down even a little bit more to throw the fastball than when he's got his good fastball. He's a little more 3/4.
The crowd comes alive. The big Cardinal crowd on its feet now. 2 men on, 1 man out. 3-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Low and outside with a fastball. He walks in. And now the bases are loaded for Jim Edmonds. So Pedro has walked 2 hitters here in the first inning and given up the infield hit to Pujols. Varitek's going to go out to the mound to talk to him. And we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the United States Postal Service.
You're catching live coverage of Major League Baseball play-by-play on the Fan Radio Network.
Jim Edmonds, 2 hits in 10 at-bats. Lifetime against Pedro Martinez with 1 home run. And Edmonds, 1 hit and 8 at-bats so far in this series. He had 42 homers, 111 batted in the regular season. So it's a big early spot here. Chance for the Cardinals to do some serious damage with the bases loaded and 1 out and one of their sluggers up there. Here's the pitch. High and tight. He has to bend back from that fastball. 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, the pitch wasn't close to Edmonds. Edmonds dives in, and that ball was actually over the plate. It was just high.
Edmonds, feet wide apart, crowding the plate. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a foul. Hit that one, and it ricocheted off the catcher, Varitek, and it rolls up the first base line. 1 ball and 1 strike. Shortstop Orlando Cabrera is shaded over toward the middle. One ball, one strike to Edmonds. Pedro Martinez in a big jam. The infield looking for the double play ball to get out of the jam. Reggie Sanders on deck. The Red Sox lead 1-0. Walker at third. Pujols at second. Rolling at first. This crowd is on fire. Down the stretch. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. He blew a fastball by him, and he reached back for a little extra. And that one, 93 miles an hour.
Well, Jim Edmonds, I'm not sure exactly where he likes the ball. I know he has a slight uppercut this swing, so normally you like it down. But I've also seen him hit the high fastball the other way. But that one, he just had an uppercut swing and swung right underneath it.
Down a 1-2 pitch. Curveball, low and inside. Dug out of the dirt by Varitek. Varitek had to spring to his right to get in front of that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And now Varitek will walk the new ball out to Pedro Martinez. Anytime a ball hits the dirt, the umpires in this postseason have been automatically just putting a new baseball in play. They don't even inspect the baseball to see if there's a scuff. They just toss it out and a new one is put in. So the battle continues. Pedro following up a 93-mile-an-hour fastball with a big sweeping curveball to Jim Edmonds. Pedro has a lot of different weapons to use. Bases loaded. Walker, Pujols, and Roland get their leads. Now Edmonds asks for time, and he backs away. Last time that a Cardinal hit a grand slam, by the way, in the World Series, it was Ken Boyer 40 years ago. There's a curve. That ball is lifted to left field. Coming in on the ball is Manny. Very shallow left. He makes the catch. Tagging and heading home. Walker, the throw. Right there waiting. He is tagged out. A double play, and the inning is over.
There's such a thing as being aggressive, and then there's making mistakes. That was a mistake.
So the Cardinals decided to run on Manny Ramirez, but Manny, he was just behind shortstop there. And the inning is over. The Cardinals had him loaded, and they come up empty in the first inning. And after one full inning of Game 3, it's 1-0 Boston. The 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the United States Postal Service, continues after these messages from your local station.
Vacations are over, and it's time to get back to business. Mick Copier offers you the lowest prices on top-quality new Sharp and Canon remanufactured office solutions. Digital copiers, printers, and fax machines, color black and white. And all Mick Copier equipment is protected by the Mick Copier exclusive 3-year warranty, so you can focus your attentions on getting the job done. Mick Copier, Canada's #1 seller of office solutions. Mick Copy down this number, 344-1515, 344-1515, or online at mickcopier.com.
Want to head south this winter? Book your company party at La Scratch West Island before December 5th, and your company can win an all-inclusive trip for 2 to Cuba. Give it to your top employee, draw it as a prize at your own party, or keep it for yourself. We won't tell. Space is limited, so your odds are fabulous. Call 683-5000 for info on party packages including private rooms, generous buffets, and specials on billiards and drinks. Head south, courtesy of Cambrian Travel, 313 Dorval Avenue, and La Scratch West Island, Pierrefonds Boulevard, corner sources.
Hi. I'm Michael Frankel from Michael's Used Furniture World. It's moving season, and I'd like to invite you to my showroom of high-quality used furniture and accessory pieces. New items arrive daily, so you're sure to find something to match your taste. Let someone else pay $2,500 for a sofa set. Michael has it for a fraction of the price. We have one-of-a-kind antique pieces, too. So come visit us at Michael's Used Furniture World, Jean Talon, just west of Côte-Neige, or call 344-1993. We deliver.
When it comes to the maintenance of your car, you need someone you can trust. Since 1928, Nelson Garage has offered the same care and high standards. At Nelson's, safety is their #1 priority. Let Nelson's conscientious professionals get your car ready for the first snowfall. Nelson's got a full selection of winter tires and same-day service so you can put your worries behind you. Nelson Garage, 1100 DeCarry Boulevard. Call 481-0155, 481-0155. Nelson Garage, serving your needs for 76 years. A member of the Auto Pro Network.
So this big crowd, which was really excited and getting ready for some big things there with Edmonds at the plate. And the Cardinals come up empty, and that may have been the first time on such a shallow fly ball we saw a guy try to score from clear to the World Series since Bernie Carbo tried it against George Foster at Fenway Park in Game 6 in 1975. There's a fastball up and away to Bill Miller. There were extenuating circumstances in 75.
Well, here's the problem here, John. If there's just a runner at third base and they want to try it, I don't have a problem with it. You have the bases loaded. You have a chance of hitting a ball in the gap and scoring all three.
Bill Miller, a switch hitter, batting left-handed. Now he swings and lines one to center. Evans drifts back, and then at the last moment has to jump a little bit to make the catch. That one almost sailed right over his head.
Well, he better start fooling somebody. I mean, they're hitting line drives. Every hitter is hitting a line drive.
And in 1975, Don Zimmer had told Bernie Carbo that he'd help him out on a fly ball, and he'd give him the go if he should go ahead and go, so Bernie could be tagging up and ready to sort of like a sprinter in the blocks. But when the ball was caught by Foster, Zimmer started shouting, "No, no!" And Bernie, with the crowd roaring, thought he was saying go. So he took off, and Foster easily threw him out at the plate. Now there's a called strike to Trot Nixon. Now I don't know if we'll find out there's a similar story tonight from Jose Oquendo, but because Walker looked kind of surprised when he got sent. It was such a shallow fly ball. Now a swing and a high pop-up. Shortstop Renteria goes out right about the spot where Manny Ramirez just caught his fly ball, and Renteria makes the catch. Trot Nixon is retired. 2 down.
Yeah, like I said, if the bases aren't loaded, man on third only, and you want to try it, I don't have a problem. But you break up a potential big inning right there, getting the guy thrown out at the plate.
They still had a shot with Reggie Sanders coming up next, but
the base is loaded.
Yeah. But they took Pedro off the hook. 2 down, nobody on. Here is Mark Bellhorn. 1-0. Boston still ahead. And sometimes, in fact, a lot of the time against Pedro here in the last couple of years, the time to get him is right away in the first inning. There's a call strike now to Bellhorn.
Most good pitchers, you try to get them early. You don't let them get into their rhythm because, they find their rhythm and you may not touch them again.
Now the 1-strike pitch. Bellhorn takes a cutter inside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mark Bellhorn in this World Series. 3 hits in 6 at-bats, a homer, a double, and 4 batted in. Nice swing, and it's a bounty ball foul up the first base side. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Bellhorn.
I saw an interesting statistic, John, and that is, Bellhorn struck out 177 times during the regular season. He has not struck out in his last 12 at-bats here in this World Series.
In fact, hardly any of the Red Sox have been striking out or even swinging and missing. Now he takes the ball too low.
Well, one of the reasons for that is that, the Cardinals are not a bunch of power pitchers. They all have good fastballs and good off-speed pitches, but they can't overpower a lot of hitters, so they're not going to be able to just, get 2 strikes and blow someone away.
Now a swing and a drive down the left field line, slicing foul and back out of play. He got a fastball right into the hands of Bellhorn that time. And again, no swing and a miss. He fought it off. In the regular season, Suppan pitched 188 innings and had 110 strikeouts. So he averaged about 5 strikeouts for every 9 innings pitched. There's a slider in the dirt for a ball. And it's 3-2 now to Mark Bellhorn with Pedro Martinez on deck.
And, John, one other note about sending the guy with the bases loaded there in the first inning. Pedro had also walked 2 guys, 2 of the last 3 hitters in that inning. To be exact, he had walked them, give him a chance to do so again.
Now Bellhorn hits another ground ball foul on the first base side. Down the right field line.
I just never liked letting a guy off the hook with 1 swing. That's always been a theory of mine. Just make him work his way out of that jam completely.
Well, there's aggressive base running, and then there's smart base running, and that was not a smart play. Now a swing and a miss on a low fastball. Bellhorn tried to check his swing, and the plate umpire Brian Gorman said, "No, you did not." So Bellhorn strikes out, and I thought he had a point about that check swing. I thought he had checked. Sanders coming up now for the Cardinals. Last of the second inning, it is 1-0 Boston. And this is Game 3 of the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the United States Postal Service.
What's the biggest enemy your engine faces? Friction. It robs your vehicle of power and performance. Quaker State motor oils have been specially formulated to reduce engine friction, no matter what type of vehicle you drive. Quaker State higher mileage engine is formulated to condition seals, reduce friction, and restore power in vehicles over 120,000 kilometers. And only Quaker State offers a 10-year, 400,000 kilometer limited warranty, even if you change your own oil. Quaker State, with the power to reduce friction for the performance you want. Ask for Quaker State motor oils at your local garage.
It sits between the cushions in the sofa. It bathes in the city's fountains. It lies in the nooks beneath your car seats. It's loose change, and it's how your kids at college pay for pizza, drive-thrus, and instant noodles. It's not how they should pay their cell phone bill.
Why not help them out with Rogers Family Plan? 2 phones, lots of minutes, all on one bill. So you can stay in touch with them wherever they are. Rogers Wireless, your world right now.
Get the details at Radio Shack or wherever Rogers Wireless products are sold.
When I needed to get away, I shopped all the vacation websites, but ended up back at selloffvacations.com. They took care of everything. The price was amazing, and the resort was fabulous. And at these prices, I'm already planning my next vacation.
selloffvacations.com.
Check it out for yourself. Go online or call 1-877-SELL-OFF today and book your dream holiday for less.
selloffvacations.com.
Don't miss the Team 990 Guys in the Morning, or you could miss this.
You got to know when you're buying scalp tickets, you're taking your life in your hands financially. When you find out that it's actually Yankees fans that are doing the damage to you, that's got to be the absolute kick in the nuts. Some people paid out as much as $450 for one seat. Nothing happened. Because, of course, scalpers would
we don't
never
want to give scalpers a bad name.
Right. We don't want to take the scum of the earth and make them a little bit messier.
Hey, why call them scum of the earth for? They're doing people a service.
And what's that service?
Giving you the opportunity.
Not having jobs, not paying taxes. Instead, they gouge people.
No, I would beg differ. I would say that.
Tony, gee whiz.
Start your day with a Team 990 Guys in the Morning. Weekday mornings from 6 till 10. The Team 990.
Red Sox 1-0. Manny Ramirez hit a solo home run into straightaway left field in the Boston first for the only run of the game. The Cardinals had the bases loaded with 1 out in the last of the first and did not score. Here's Reggie Sanders now to lead off against Pedro Martinez. Here's Pedro's windup. The right-hander delivers. And a curveball that drops in there for a called strike. Sanders, a right-handed hitter, 0 for 6 so far. Tony Womack, Mike Matheny to follow. Sanders had that base running mistake. He missed second base in the second inning Sunday. And Pedro throws a slider over the outside. Strike 2 called. Tony La Russa said that had only happened to the Cardinals one other time this year. And it was Larry Walker on the same play, hit and run play. And he missed second base. He's halfway third, turned back around and went back to second and held there. Here's Pedro's 0-2 pitch. Fastball is too high. And he looked at Walker and said, "Did you work with Reggie on base running?" And Walker said, yeah, obviously. And he says, "There's not anybody else you worked with, is there?"
Well, the right thing to do, though, as I said at the time, you have to go back and touch the bag.
Now a breaking ball, a soaring fly ball into shallow left. Cabrera out, but Manny Ramirez in. It is Manny who makes the two-handed catch to retire Sanders.
That pitch right there will get him in trouble. He just missed that ball because he threw him a slow curve to start the at-bat. Then he threw him another one because his curveball's not that fast tonight. And Sanders just missed it. I mean, he had a great swing at it, just a little bit off.
So Sanders is gone. 1 down, and Tony Womack, who is not a home run threat, but base running, base stealing, that's his game. Womack so far 1 hit and 5 at bats in the series and 1 walk. Left-handed hitter. The pitch to him is very high with an 88-mile-an-hour fastball. 1 ball and no strikes.
And John, I was talking about the point of Tony being hurt. It's the same thing with Curt Schilling.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. And did he swing? A high fastball, a check swing, and on appeal, the third base umpire, Charlie Rutherford, said, yeah, that's a swing.
Well, the thing that surprised me about the Cardinals and Schilling the other day, Curt Schilling is injured. No one bunted. No one tried to do anything.
Now Womack takes the ball.
To make him uncomfortable out there. I know it's not politically correct to try to take advantage of someone who is injured, but this is baseball, and you're trying to win a World Series.
There's a slider. That's up and away. Ball 3 to Womack.
And I was just surprised. I really was. Because the Cardinals have several guys who do bunt during the season, and none of them tried it the other day.
3-1 pitch. There's a swing and a ground ball to second. Bellhorn over to his left from the edge of the outfield grass, straightens up and throws him out. So Womack is gone. 2 down, nobody on, and here is Mike Matheny. 1-0, Boston ahead.
I was always taught you just can't let a guy be comfortable doing what he wants to do if you can change that. And bunting and trying some things would have helped the Cardinals, I think, the other day against Curt Schilling. And I believe that if you're injured, you shouldn't be out there. That's the way I think of it. That's why I say you can't protect Womack either.
Now the pitch to Mike Matheny. Pedro throws him a fastball in there for a called strike. Matheny, right-handed hitter, 2 hits in 6 at-bats with 2 runs batted in. He actually is tied for the club lead in RBIs after 2 games. Now here it is, and a curveball in for a called strike.
Pedro is throwing far more curveballs tonight than I've seen him in a long time. And I think the reason for that is because he doesn't have the overpowering fastball. And he can just steal some strikes with the curveball because they're not looking for it.
0-2 pitch. Another curveball that hangs high. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Matheny with Suppan, the pitcher, due up next.
Normally Pedro will throw fastball, changeup, a few sliders, and a few curveballs. But mostly fastball, changeup.
2 down, bases empty. 1-2 pitch. And a fastball at 91 miles an hour, fouled straight back to the screen. A ball and 2 strikes. The Red Sox lead 1-0 in the second. Game 4 tomorrow night. And the scheduled pitchers, Derek Lowe, a right-hander and a sinker baller for Boston. And Jason Marquis, a right-hander for the Cardinals, the former Atlanta Braves prospect. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He blew a high fastball right by him. Pedro's first strikeout, and it's a 3-up, 3-down inning. On to the third. Pedro, then Damon and Cabrera coming up, and it's 1-0 Boston. It's the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio. Presented by the United States Postal Service, and we'll continue after these messages from your local station.
Experience Bar Hymas, a warm and inviting atmosphere waiting for you in Point Claire. The home of the official Glasgow Rangers fan club has 4 giant screen TVs and an incredible menu available until 11 p.m. every day. Pig knuckles, prime ribs, steaks, fish, pasta, and great burgers. And every Saturday night, Bar Hymas goes country with live country music. With room for up to 150 people, Bar Hymas is perfect for any occasion. Sample one of their 30 single malt scotches or imported beers. Bar Hymas, 177 Hymas Boulevard in Point Claire.
Hit autumn in styles as cool as the season with Village de Cuir. Montreal's best-known leather manufacturer has hot prices on cool leather. All the latest styles made from top-quality leather imported from Italy with the savings passed on to you. Jackets, coats in every length, vests and pants all made to measure in leather, suede, or sheepskin. At Village de Cuir, you'll find it all. And alterations are done free and on the spot. Le Village de Cuir, 6719 Monk off de la Vérandre. Le Village de Cuir.
Auto Value presents Monster Jam, brought to you by Ford of Canada and Montreal Region Ford dealers. 7:30 this Saturday. The best monster trucks return, featuring Blue Thunder, Little Tiger, Hot Wheels, Monster Mutt, Rage and Steel, El Toro Loco, 6-time world champ Maximum Destruction, the legendary Gravedigger, and more. Plus Quad Wars, Street Warriors, and kid seats are just $8. Excludes Gold Circle section. So don't wait. Get tickets now at all Admission Network outlets, the Olympic Stadium box office, or charge at 514-790-1245 or 800-361-4595 or at admission.com. Tickets subject to convenience and handling charges. Get on the track and meet the drivers from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. at the pre-show pit party. Grab your free pit pass now at Auto Value. Entry with valid event ticket only. Monster Jam. 7:30 this Saturday, Olympic Stadium.
This is Montreal's Sports Authority, the Team 990.
Red Sox 1, Cardinals nothing as we start the third in Game 3. And Pedro Martinez will be coming up to Boston against Jeff Suppan. We'd like to extend a special welcome to all of our U.S. servicemen and women stationed around the world and on ships at sea, listening in to tonight's ball game on the American Forces Radio Network. And we send along all of our sincere appreciation. And we hope that you enjoy the game. So here's Pedro Martinez. Pedro's not done a whole lot of hitting in these interleague games, and he takes the called strike since going to the Red Sox. Pedro in interleague games in National League ballparks has come to the plate 21 times and is 0 for 19. He does have a walk, though, and one sacrifice bunt. One strike delivery, and a slider is low for a ball. Jeff Suppan with the Cardinals, he was the winningest pitcher for a team that won 105 games. He won 16. The 1-1 pitch and a fastball is in there for a strike. The only other team to win at least that many games and not have at least a 117-game winner was your old ball club, Joe, the 1975 Cincinnati Reds. There's a fastball in there for a strike. The Reds who beat the Red Sox in that great World Series. There's strike 3 called to Pedro, and a fastball in there, and he is quickly disposed of by Jeff Suppan. One away. Those Reds had Gary Nolan, Jack Billingham, and Don Gullett, and all three won 15 games and tied for the club lead in wins.
Well, I think the Cardinals are very similar in that it doesn't matter if you win 108 games who wins those games, whether you have 5 20-game winners or 3 guys that win 30. I mean, it's the same thing.
There's a called strike down to Johnny Damon on the inside with a cut fastball. Damon lined out to right his first time. The leadoff man batting with 1 out and nobody on in the third. 1-0 Boston. Now he swings, hits a big chop to second. Backing up at the ball is Womack. Now he throws over to first in time to retire Damon. That one got there in a hurry, a couple of big hops, and he backed up to get the true hop.
Well, the thing that's great is that if that would have been in Boston the other night, that would have been a tough play. You know, the ball may have even bounced over his head or shot at him very quickly. So that was, a routine play here.
So 2 men down, and Orlando Cabrera will come up. He lined out to left center. Jim Edmonds made a long run to corral his liner. And he's back in the first. 2 down, nobody on. 1-0 Boston ahead. Here's the pitch. And a fastball in at the knees for a called strike. Suppan in the Game 7 last Thursday, right here against Roger Clemens and the Astros, got the win in that key game. And the slider is low. That sent the Cardinals into the World Series. Suppan went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs on only 3 hits, and only 1 of the runs was earned. He threw 98 pitches in that one.
And he hooked up with Roger Clemens in that 7th game.
Here's the 1-1 pitch now to Cabrera. Swing a line drive foul. In the division series against L.A., he also pitched the clinching game. They did not use him until the 4th game of that series. He went 7 innings at Dodger Stadium and gave up 2 runs and 2 hits. So his 2 big ball games to clinch series and let the Cardinals move on. He pitched 13 innings and only given up 5 hits. And a curveball that drops in low on the outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Suppan only had 2 strikes in that game in L.A. in 7 innings, 2 strikeouts. And he had 6 strikeouts in 6 innings against the Astros. He's had a couple of strikeouts so far tonight. 2 down, nobody on. Here's the pitch. Fastball outside for a ball. 16 wins for Suppan. However, most of his wins were on the road, away from St. Louis. He was 10-1. Here, during the regular season, he won 6 games and lost 8. 3-2 pitch, a slider in the dirt. He threw him a breaking ball, slider or a cutter, with Manny Ramirez coming up next.
I guess they do not have as much respect for Manny as I do, because this happened in Boston as well, walking him to, with Manny coming up next. And that's after getting ahead of Cabrera in this at bat.
I saw Manny last night and his lovely wife, Juliana, and he had batting practice here yesterday. First time he'd been in this ballpark. And he said, what a park. What a great park. The ball flies to all fields. So sure enough, his first time up tonight in his first at bat in this ballpark, he hit a long home run to straightaway left field. Out of pitch. Fastball just below the knees. 1 ball and no strikes. Manny, by the way, I guess it wasn't such a surprise that he hit that home run against Suppan. He now has homered 4 times in his last 6 at-bats against Suppan. Of course, that goes back a few years. Now the 1-0 pitch. Fastball at the knees for a strike this time. Trying to keep the ball down to Manny. Manny took a high fastball on the inside over the left field wall. I mean, it was really in the second deck out there in left field. Above the fence, there are some pillars and some little small concourse areas. So that was really quite a shot. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss. That was a changeup running down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Man, kind of a wild swing at that one as it ran in and off the plate. 1-0. Boston ahead. David Ortiz would be next. Orlando Cabrera, the runner at first. Tony Womack, the second baseman, pulled well over toward the middle. Here's the stretch. Now a throw to first, and Cabrera is back to the bag.
So I think this is a situation where if you're Boston, you let Cabrera go. If he makes it, you're okay. If he doesn't, then he's got to wade through Manny and Ortiz again next inning.
Red Sox have not attempted a steal so far in this series. This is only the 3rd game. Cabrera starts and then stops. Manny hits a fly ball to right. Walker waiting for it, makes the catch, and the inning is over. 1 walk, 1 left. Ortiz left on deck. Suppan, Renteria, and Walker due up. Pujols due 4th. We go to the last of the 3rd inning. It's 1-0 Boston in Game 3 of the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio. Presented by the United States Postal Service.
A good real estate broker can make a difference in the sale of your city home, condo, or country property. At Town & Country Realty, they know selling a home can be difficult, time-consuming, and emotional, which is why they work to get you the best price for your home with the least stress for your family. For selling or buying, test the proven results of Town & Country Realty for yourself. Owner real estate broker Lois Monaker Moss of Town & Country Realty. Call 733-3221. 733-3221. Town & Country Realty. Simply the best. Dedication to excellence is the hallmark of Mercedes-Benz. At Silver Star Mercedes-Benz, that excellence is metaphor. Before selecting your pre-owned Mercedes, visit Silver Star for a whole new pre-owned experience. North America's largest indoor display of pre-owned Mercedes-Benz vehicles awaits you. Over 200 cars displayed at Silver Star Mercedes' new 40,000 square foot showroom, and every one backed by the rigorous Mercedes-Benz certification process. A star-certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz from Silver Star Mercedes-Benz, the Cary Corner Ferrier. You could drive a new car, or you could drive a Mercedes.
Great things are going on at Bocacino's. Stop in to try something from their new menu. And all of October, the kids can eat free from the new children's menu. Get all the details at any Bocacino's location. High-speed internet for $29.95 a month. CA.inter.net. You get top-notch high-speed internet service for $29.95 a month. CA.inter.net. Unlimited bandwidth, no contract. CA.inter.net. This is not a limited-time promotional offer. Get the true high-speed you need at the low price you want. CA.inter.net. High-speed internet for $29.95 a month. Call now. 1-800-920-SIR. 1-800-920-SIR. Or visit CA.inter.net. Inter.net. Connect the dots.
Fans, make sure to tune in next Tuesday night as the 10th season of NBA coverage on ESPN Radio tips off with the world champion Detroit Pistons hosting Yao Ming, Tracy McGrady, and the Houston Rockets. Coverage starts at 7:40 Eastern Time next Tuesday, opening night of the NBA on ESPN Radio. And there's a called strike to Jeff Suppan, leading off against Pedro. Last of the 3rd. Boston ahead 1-0 here in Game 3 of the World Series. Pedro tries a curveball and misses too high with it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Suppan in the regular season Had 4 hits in 57 at-bats. That takes the fastball off the outside.
Well, one thing I'm noticing, Pedro's fastball seems to be getting a little better.
That one clocked at 91 miles an hour. 2-1 pitch. Swinging in a foul straight back. 2-2.
I'm not thinking about the speed of it. I'm just watching it, and there seems to be a little more movement, a little more zip on it.
I'm just watching the radar again.
Yeah, but he has a little more movement.
2-2 pitch. Swinging at a foul off to the right, back into the crowd. It remains 2 balls, 2 strikes to Suppan. Renteria and Walker, the top of the batting order, will follow.
Sometimes the speed can be identical, yet the ball gets there a little quicker.
2-2 pitch, and a curve bounced slowly up the third base side. Racing in Miller, barehanded pickup, throw to first, not in time. And Suppan gets an infield hit. Suppan, although he hit very poorly this past season, in the past it hit pretty well. A 181 lifetime batting average. And he gets a leg hit.
John, see, this is where I think why I like Womack to be up there in this situation. Womack might could drop down a bunt, beat it out for a base hit, or at worst, move the guy in the scoring position.
But it is Edgar Renteria, who is from Colombia in South America, from the town of Barranquilla. Both shortstops are from Colombia in this World Series. And a curveball from Pedro, low and outside to Edgar Renteria, who grounded out to second his first time. Orlando Cabrera is from Cartagena, Colombia. And as Cabrera has said during this series in Colombia, soccer is the #1 sport. These are 2 of only 7 players who have ever made it to the big leagues from Colombia. Going head-to-head here. There's the throw to first, and Suppan almost waited too long to go back to the bag. He made a dive back and was safe.
John, my point with Womack, not that you square around the sacrifice, that he tries to beat it out for a base hit, and you may end up with runners at first and second with no one out.
Renteria, the bunt is not nearly as much a part of his game. He swings and fouls one off the catcher, Jason Varitek. The count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Renteria, 5 hits and 18 at-bats lifetime against Pedro Martinez. Renteria was signed to his first professional contract by the father of Orlando Cabrera, Holbert Cabrera, who passed away 4 years ago, very tragically, at age 50. Holbert Cabrera also signed his own son, Holbert Jr., who now plays for the Seattle Mariners. As he's swinging a drive into right field, right center, going back Nixon, it sails over his head. He slips and falls on the muddy outfield warning track. He picks it up the carom, throws in, and past the relay man. Bellhorn, as it kind of hydroplaned across the grass past him, picked up in the middle of the infield by Cabrera. A double for Renteria. And that will bring up Walker with Suppan stopping at third. And we saw the effects of the sloppy going in the outfield there for the first time.
And that's why I like Renteria. He has power. And remember, year before this year, last year he drove in 100 runs. He's a great RBI man as well. And I think if anybody's out there other than Suppan, they would have scored him.
So now here is Walker, who walked his first time. The infield is back, normal depth. The ground ball to the right side could do a lot of things for the Cardinals. The pitch, Walker swings, ground ball to the right side, and Suppan does not come home. Suppan is hung up. They throw to first for the out. Now Ortiz goes back to third, and he is out. And that is the worst base running of all time. Suppan, with the infield backed up, did not just come home. It was as if he'd never been on third base before. And so the National League team, whose pitchers bat all season long, it's the National League pitcher who makes a horrendous play in the bases, one of the worst you will ever see. That was a gimme. The Red Sox were giving him the run, and he refused to take it, and instead it turns into a double play. And David Ortiz gunned him down at third. The man who never plays first but is always a DH made a very strong throw to third. Over the second, well, holding at second is Renteria. And this crowd is just stunned. A shocking play. Shocking in just how utterly terrible it was.
Well, I mean, it's just the Cardinals are known for their offense. They're known for their base running. We've seen them get 2 runners thrown out. And, for no reason at all. I mean, that was just, all you can say is it's horrible base running. I mean, the infield was all the way back. A little weak ground, well, not a weak ground ball, regular ground ball. Everybody could have scored. Renteria should be at third now with 1 out.
I mean, the ramifications of that terrible base running by Suppan are just like a domino effect, because, as you say, it was a perfect execution by Larry Walker to get the ground ball to the right side, to get the run home and get Renteria to third. Pujols could have gotten Renteria home without a base hit here. That's what a great out in situational hitting that was. And instead, Suppan refuses to accept it. And Tony La Russa in the dugout, he may want to just throw up right now. I mean, this is the World Series. This is the biggest stage, and suddenly the Cardinals can't even do things that they were doing in 6th grade right. And missing bases, pitcher refuses to score on a ground ball to deep second. 1-2 pitch now to Pujols, a check swing on a curveball, an appeal made to the first base umpire Merriweather. No swing, he says, and it is 2-2. The double play from Bellhorn to Ortiz to Miller. Renteria was almost to third base himself when Suppan decided not to come in to score. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count to Pujols. And the pitch. Fastball away. Now, Pujols could make Suppan feel a lot better about the whole thing if he just would knock one in the bullpen right here.
Yeah, well, feel better, but it's still inexcusable. And I guess the toughest part is they were yelling for him to go. Oquendo was yelling for him to go even after he had stopped to start back, and then he got caught in the middle. I mean, if he just stays at third, you're still better off.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a ground ball to third. Miller plays the hop, throws over to first in time, and the Cardinals are getting booed in their own ballpark, and they earned it. They had second and third, nobody out, and their biggest hitters up there, and suddenly the base running, they just self-destruct, and that's twice in 3 innings now that they have run themselves out of the inning when they had Pedro Martinez on the ropes. David Ortiz coming up. We go to the 4th. 1-0 Boston. It's Game 3 of the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the United States Postal Service.
No trick, all treat. PC Info is carving up prices like pumpkins, and there's nothing spooky about it. PC Info's got the best in today's PC gear. Home desktops or custom-built systems for your office network. Talk to the guys at PC Info. To upgrade or start from scratch, PC Info. Full system starting from just $419. Tech support 7 days a week. Discounted prices. Financing available up to 36 months. PC Info on St. Charles and Pierrefonds, on Curry LaBelle in Laval, and online at PCInfoComputers.com.
Big and tall-sized men, don't despair. MH Grover & Sons has your perfect fit. Get today's fall fashions in the sizes you need. Columbia ski jackets, 3-in-1 in sizes up to 6XL. Winter coats up to 7XL. Suits up to size 70. Jeans up to size 72. Shoes up to size 17. Get hot names like Nautica, Pele, and Jack Victor. MH Grover & Sons, 4741 Wellington, corner 3rd Avenue in Verdun. Or call 769-3771. MH Grover & Sons. They never met a man they could not handle.
Experience Bar Highness, a warm and inviting atmosphere waiting for you in Point Claire. The home of the official Glasgow Rangers fan club has 4 giant screen TVs and an incredible menu available until 11 p.m. every day. Pig knuckles, prime rib, steaks, fish, pasta, and great burgers. And every Saturday night, Bar Highness goes country with live country music. With room for up to 150 people, Bar Highness is perfect for any occasion. Sample one of their 30 single malt scotches or imported beers. Bar Highness, 177 Hymas Boulevard in Point Claire.
Nelson Garage knows that not all rust protection is created equally. That's why Nelson's experts turn to Crown. Crown is more than just rust protection. It's the best the industry has to offer, backed by the best warranty. Let the Crown certified staff of Nelson Garage get your car ready for whatever Mother Nature throws its way with Crown Rust Protection, one of the only rust-proofing methods recommended by the APA. Nelson Garage, 1100 DeCary Boulevard, 481-0155, 481-0155. Nelson Garage, serving your needs for 76 years. A member of the Auto Pro Network.
Inning number 4, and this crowd, which came out with so much energy, so much juice, and right now they are stunned. And it is very quiet here at Busch Stadium as the Cardinals, who won 105 games this year, suddenly cannot do even the simplest things right. David Ortiz bouncing a foul off to the right. And that's supposed to be the advantage when the American League team comes to the National League Park in the World Series. Suddenly the American League pitcher's got it back. He's not used to it. The National League pitcher's supposed to have all the advantage there. Well, that's not the way it turned out. Jeff Suppan looked like he had never been in the bases before. There's a ball too high to the slugger. David Ortiz, the count 1 ball, 1 strike. Ortiz lined to single to right his first time. Suppan to the plate. And the changeup rounded up the first base side. Picked up with a swipe of the glove by Pujols. He runs it to the bag. And there is out number 1. One to nothing. Boston ahead here in the 4th inning. The only run of the game so far. Manny Ramirez home run. Manny then, in the last of the 1st inning, threw out Larry Walker, who tried to score from third base with the bases loaded on really what was just a pop fly behind shortstop. Manny looking right on the plate, threw him out easily at the plate. And there's ball 1 to Varitek. And then the Cardinals had runners at second and third and 1 out in the 3rd inning. And Larry Walker, I mean, we were all set to praise Walker for his great situational hitting, doing just what the situation called for, and it instead turned into a double play.
Well, all he can do is his job, and he did that.
It was second and third and nobody out when Walker was up there. Walker hit what proved to be a double play for the first 2 outs of the inning. 1-1 the count to Varitek. Batting left-handed. He takes a fastball over the outside. Strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the Cardinals have had 2 great opportunities against Pedro. Bases loaded, 1 out in the first. Second and third, nobody out in the 3rd, and they did not even come up even with 1 run either time. 1-2 pitch, low, went inside for a ball. 2-2 to Varitek. One run, 2 hits for the Red Sox. The run and the 2 hits all came in the 1st inning against Suppan. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, a high fastball, and he blew him away.
Well, it's good to see that Suppan has not let that affect him so far in this inning. You know, the fact that, he got caught in the double play situation. Because his job is still to pitch. Well, that's his number 1 job. His number 2 job is to run the bases well if you get on there.
I mean, Bellhorn was not even thinking about Suppan. He knew Suppan was going to score. He just went ahead and made his play to first base. Here's Bill Miller, the St. Louis area native. Always dreamed of playing in a World Series at Busch Stadium, and here he is. Although it's not quite the way he dreamed it. He didn't dream of playing it against the Cardinals. 1 ball and no strike. Miller lined out to center his first time. Now he drives one into left center field. That's a base hit. That's into the alleyway. Racing over to cut it off is the left fielder Sanders. He spins on that wet grass and throws into second, but Miller is in there with a double ahead of the throw, and he just was not able to set himself to make a strong throw out there in the slippery going.
Well, Miller's hit the ball hard twice. He lined out to center field his first time up. Now he lines one in a gap in the left center. But you're right that the wet going wouldn't allow him to get set. I'm not sure he could have gotten Bill Miller anyway, because Miller came out of the batter's box thinking double right away, and he never slowed down.
Sanders, who has a strong arm, but he Did not show it off right there. And here is Trot Nixon. He drives one deep down the right field line. That one is over the head of Walker, and it bounces up against the wall. Here comes Miller around third. He scores. The throw goes into second by Walker as he holds Nixon to a single, a long single by Nixon to get a run home. And Boston now is leading 2-0. In an inning where they had 2 down and nobody on, they quickly get a double and a single and have a run home.
Well, that's what Boston's all about. They're going to hit. I mean, you can't stop them. There's a straight changeup, and it didn't do very much. And Nixon hits it off the wall. I'm surprised he only got a single, but Larry Walker played it pretty well in right field.
So now Nixon at first, 2-0 Boston. Here is Bellhorn. Batting left-handed, he swings and fouls one back out of play. Well, here are the Cardinals. They had 3 men on and 1 man out in the first. Second and third, nobody out, and the big hitters up in the third and haven't scored yet. The Red Sox had 2 down and nobody on in the first, and Manny Ramirez hit a homer. Well, they've 2 down and nobody on here in the fourth, and suddenly a double and a single, and they have 2 runs. There's a fastball, and that misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. So the Red Sox very opportunistically scoring with 2 down. That's been a theme of this series. 2 out runs for Boston. Most of their runs have been scored after 2 are down. There's a changeup outside for a ball. 2-1. Now the stretch. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That hit him. Came inside with a slider, and Mark Bellhorn did not do much in terms of getting out of the way of that one. Somehow the ball just surprised him and struck him. So Bellhorn hit by the pitch, and that will bring up Pedro with 2 men on and 2 men out. Now the pitch is swinging and a foul back to the screen. Red Sox got all 6 of their runs in Sunday's ball game after 2 were down and without benefit of any home runs. Just clutched 2 out hits and have now scored 10 of their 19 runs after 2 were down. And Pedro swings and misses at a curveball, and the count is 0-2. Two runs and 4 hits for Boston. This inning, it all started with Bill Miller's 2-out double into left center field, and then Nixon shot one over the head of Larry Walker in right for a long single to knock him in. 2-0 Boston. Here's the pitch. And that curveball is in there. Strike 3 call, and Pedro has been called out on strikes in each of his trips to the plate. But the Red Sox add a run, and are leading now with Rowland, Edmonds, and Sanders coming up 2-0 after 3.5. This is Game 3 of the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the United States Postal Service.
You know what it's like to mess with sockets, fumbling, dropping. But not with the new Benchmark Ready Ratchet, only at Home Hardware. It has the 7 most popular socket sizes on a tray right in the handle, standard or metric. The tray slides out for convenience and no mess. And Ready Ratchet is extra long for maximum torque. Pick up your fully guaranteed Ready Ratchet today, only at Home Hardware and Home Building Center. Help is close to home.
When a photo from an ordinary printer gets wet, it might sound like this.
Ooh, baby, 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 please.
Faded.
Ooh, baby.
Watered down.
Got me on my
and washed up. But use an Epsom all-in-one, and you'll get something entirely different.
What's he talking about?
I'm talking about this.
Oh, baby, baby.
Epson's exclusive Durabright inks, you'll get pictures that resist damage from water. So even when wet, they're a hard act to follow.
I could have done that.
Right. Epson printer scanner copiers use individual Durabright inks for the world's most durable prints. Learn more at Epson.com and see Epson all-in-ones at leading computer, electronics, and office supply retailers.
If you've got unwanted sports memorabilia, don't throw it away. Clean up with KSKS Sports Collectibles. Once a year, KSKS goes on a shopping spree, and they've got thousands of dollars set aside for autographs, game-used sticks, sports trading cards, vintage sports publications, and game programs. Whether you've got individual items or entire collections, KSKS Sports Collectibles is ready to buy. Don't miss your chance to get your share as KSKS Sports Collectibles stocks their shelves. Call KSKS Sports Collectibles at 945-9603 or visit KSKSSports.com.
Fans, log on to MLB.com to follow baseball live on the web with MLB.com's real-time stats, game day audio, and MLB TV. MLB.com, where baseball is always on. And the Cardinals are coming up now against Pedro Martinez, last of the fourth inning, and trailing 2-0. And the Cardinals, who have been all over Pedro in 2 of the first 3 innings, but have done everything except score against him. Here's Scott Rowland, and he takes a called strike. Knee high on the inside, and it is 0-1. Rowland walked his first time. Martinez has given him 3 hits and 2 walks, but no runs. He delivers, and a changeup down around the ankles of Rowland, and he swings and misses. Strike 2. Jim Edmonds on deck. Here's Martinez windup. He throws. Swing, a little bouncer hit toward third. Charged by Miller on the run. Makes a spin pivot off his right foot, and the throw to first is in time for 1 away.
So much is made about the fact that David Ortiz has played first base. He's actually played it great today. I mean, he made a great throw to third to get Suppan, and he is actually longer. He's a taller player at first base, which helps all the infielders when they throw across the diamond. He can stretch out more, and he makes it a lot easier, and he gives a much bigger target than Millar does.
So 1 down, and here is Jim Edmonds. And there's a little dribbler foul off to the right. Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's replacing the Gold Glover in Millar.
And that's what it seemed to be everybody's talking about, and I don't understand that. Because David Ortiz has played first base before. It's not like all of a sudden you're putting him there in a position he's never played. He played third a lot when he was with Minnesota. So he has played some third base.
Well, he played 31 games there in the regular season, and this year it wasn't like he made an error in every one of those games. He made 4 errors in the 31 games. Now Edmonds swings and hits a high fly ball. Fairly shallow left center. In comes the center fielder Damon to step in front of Manny Ramirez. He makes the catch. And Edmonds is gone. Edmonds is now 0 for 2. 2 men down here in the 4th inning. The batter will be Reggie Sanders.
Edmonds is getting more of an uppercut swing today than I've seen him in a long time. He's always had a slight uppercut, but he's got a big uppercut tonight, which is one of the reasons he missed the fastball in the first inning a couple of times.
Sanders flied out to shallow left his first time, and he takes a called strike for Pedro. And of course, the question for these Cardinal fans, and one I think they're thinking about, but they don't want to know the answer, is just how many times can you let Pedro off the hook in 1 3-inning period and still expect to come back and score a few runs against him and beat him? Their chances to do that, they already have happened. 1 ball, 1 strike to Reggie Sanders. 2 down, nobody on. Sanders, a right-handed hitter, the pitch to him. And that curveball is low and outside for a ball. 2-1. But the misadventures on the base paths for the Cardinals have just taken these fans. It's almost like a mild depression has set in this big crowd. The 2-1 pitch, and a swing and a miss on a changeup. 2-2 the count. Tony Womack would be next. Boston, 2 runs, 4 hits. And the Cardinals, no runs, 3 hits. And all of the errors in the game occurring on the bases. There's a swing and a miss on another changeup. And that's the inning. And Pedro retires the side on 10 pitches. We're heading down to the 5th inning. The top of the order coming up. Damon, Cabrera, and Manny Ramirez. Boston 2. The Cardinals nothing. The 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the United States Postal Service, continues after these messages from your local station.
The right-at-home feeling of Bar Hymas isn't just available later in the day. Bar Hymas is now open for breakfast, too. For lunch, dinner, and now first thing in the morning. Light or hearty, Bar Hymas serves it fresh. And always with the friendly service that's made Bar Hymas a favorite home away from home. And at Bar Hymas, breakfast begins at 6 a.m. and starts at under $3. That's under $3. Bar Hymas, 177 Hymas in Point Claire. If you find a cheaper breakfast anywhere else, you probably shouldn't put it in your mouth.
Dedication to excellence is the hallmark of Mercedes-Benz. At Silver Star Mercedes-Benz, that excellence is metaphor. Before selecting your pre-owned Mercedes, visit Silver Star for a whole new pre-owned experience. North America's largest indoor display of pre-owned Mercedes-Benz vehicles awaits you. Over 200 cars displayed at Silver Star Mercedes' new 40,000 square foot showroom, and every one backed by the rigorous Mercedes-Benz certification process. A star-certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz from Silver Star Mercedes-Benz, the Cary Corner Ferrier. You could drive a new car, or you could drive a Mercedes.
Welcome back to Busch Stadium. Dan Shulman with you here on ESPN Radio. The Red Sox lead the Cardinals 2-0 through 4 innings. Manny Ramirez with a home run in the first. Did you know is brought to you by OnStar by GM. Did you know that Manny has now had at least one hit in all 13 playoff games this year? And going back to last season, now has a 16-game postseason hitting streak, one shy of the all-time Major League postseason record, 17 games held by Hank Bauer and Derek Jeter. Manny Ramirez due up third as the Red Sox come up in the 5th, leading 2-0. Back to John Miller and Joe Morgan.
All right, Dan, and before the Red Sox come to bat here in the 5th inning, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the U.S. Postal Service.
You're catching live coverage of Major League Baseball play-by-play on the Fan Radio Network.
Now for the Red Sox, Johnny Damon will lead off. He is lined out to right, grounded out to second. He's 0 for 2. He'll be followed by Orlando Cabrera and then Manny Ramirez. Damon, the left-handed hitter. Suppan, the right-hander, throws, and he's off the outside with a sinker, and it is 0-1. 1 ball and no strikes, I beg your pardon. 2-0, Boston ahead. Here's the pitch, and a curveball in at the knees for a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, one thing right now is, at least up till now, Suppan has kept the ball club in the game.
Yes, he has, but that was his priority.
There's a fastball a little bit low on the outside. 2-1.
Because you knew he wasn't going to shut the Red Sox down. I mean, they're going to score some runs. I mean, they're as good an offense almost as St. Louis. They just do it differently. They just beat you up. St. Louis can do it a lot of different ways.
2-1 pitch. And a fastball a little bit low again. 3-1. The Cardinals, and sometimes you see this in a World Series, a team will make a few mistakes, and the more they make, it's almost like the more likely they are to make them. I mean, it's a big stage on which to be making mistakes. There's a swing. There's a drive deep down the right field line. Hooking foul. And back into the crowd. It's 3-2. I mean, you start making mistakes in a World Series, and they'll live with you for many, many years.
Well, that's basically what happened to Boston the other day. They started making mistakes, and before you knew it, they made 4 errors each night.
But they won, and who cares now?
Exactly.
But Reggie Sanders, I beg your pardon, he's going to be hearing about missing second base for a long time to come if the Cardinals don't win this series. There's a drive deep to right field. Going back is Walker. That one sails over his head and bounces up against the wall. Damon heading for second, and he's in there standing with a double.
Well, they better back up. They're playing so shallow that they're not able to get back on some of these balls. I mean, that's a couple of balls that's been hit to right field over Walker's head because they're playing so shallow.
Damon's second double of the World Series. So now the Red Sox have their big hitters up here with a chance to extend their lead. They're already ahead 2-0. Orlando Cabrera coming up, and then Ramirez and Ortiz, the big sluggers in the middle of that batting order for Boston. And the Cardinals already down by 2, and first baseman Pujols shortens up a bit in case there's a bunt. There's a swing and a foul off to the right. And that looked like Cabrera was trying to go to the right side, you think?
Yeah, he definitely was going the other way. I mean, he's a smart player. And remember, he came from the National League, so most of his career he's played National League style ball anyway.
His older brother, Holbert Cabrera, plays for the Seattle Mariners. His dad, Holbert Cabrera Sr., was a scout for the Marlins. Here's the pitch. Now he shows bunt, takes a curveball, too low. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. And his dad not only signed Edgar Renteria to a contract, Edgar broke in with the Marlins, but also his own son, Holbert Cabrera Jr., and he wanted to sign Orlando Cabrera, and the Marlins said no. They were looking for shortstops who were more along the lines of Renteria, who's bigger, faster, maybe a little more power. Now Suppan shows the bluff towards second, and Damon is back to the bag. No throw was made. So the Montreal Expos ended up signing Orlando Cabrera. And he says that right now the World Series is the first story on the newscast every night in Colombia. There's a swing, liner into right field. Here comes Walker, but he's going to have to play it on a bounce. It's in there, base hit. Over to third base is Damon. He waited to make sure it fell in front of Walker before he went. So Cabrera succeeds and then some, moving the runner over and getting himself aboard. And they got a chance now for a big inning with Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz coming up next.
I always remember something one of my early coaches said, and that was, if you do things that you're supposed to do for the team and you do them correctly, you look up and things will work out well for you as an individual also. And Cabrera was going the other way because he was supposed to, and guess what? He gets a base hit anyway.
So now runners at first and third and nobody out, and the Cardinals with a stirring in the bullpen.
Well, this game is in a situation where it can get out of hand very quickly. So if you're the Cardinals, you hope to give up that 1 run, try to get a double play.
Here's the pitch. There's a swing and a high foul off the right field line by Manny Ramirez, and the count is 0-1. That one is well back into the crowd. Ramirez has hit a long home run to left, and he is flied out to right. And he's in an RBI spot right here. Manny, in this World Series, has had 5 hits in 11 at-bats with 3 runs batted in. Remember, he never did drive in a run against the Yankees in the 7-game league championship series. The middle infield is double play depth here. Now, Suppan steps off the slab, bluffing a throw toward third, spins around, and does throw to first. But back to the bag is Cabrera.
And make no mistake about it, the Boston Red Sox have hit the ball hard tonight. They've lined out on several occasions, and they still have 6 base hits on the board.
They lead 2-0, threatening to add to that. First and third, nobody out. Here's the pitch. Swing and a fly ball along the right field line. Foul. And back out of play. And Manny, that would look like more of a 2-strike kind of a swing from Manny. Well, it's 2 strikes now, 0-2 the count. Al Reyes, a right-hander, is warming up in the Cardinals bullpen out beyond the right field wall. Second baseman Womack pulled in a bit, double play depth, and well over toward the middle. The shortstop Renteria straight up and pulled in several steps from the outfield grass. Pujols on the bag at first, holding against Cabrera. Damon down the line from third. Here's the pitch. Just missing a fastball to the outside. 1-2. Terry Francona says that Manny is a very sharp eye up there. And he must have to have taken that pitch with 2 strikes. But that was close. Now Suppan to the plate. Swinging a ground ball into left field, a base hit. Right through the hole between third and short. Coming in to score is Johnny Damon. Cabrera stops at second. The Red Sox have 3 straight hits to start the inning and lead 3-0. And here comes Big David Ortiz now. And that's going to bring Dave Duncan, the Cardinal pitching coach, out of the dugout. And he's going to trot out to the mound to offer some advice here for Jeff Suppan.
Well, as I said, they're hitting the ball awfully hard. I mean, they've lined out 3 times, and they still have 7 base hits. I mean, so they're hitting the ball that hard, and we're only in the 5th inning.
Now the plate umpire, Brian Gorman, goes out to the mound. Suppan joined by Matheny, the catcher, and Duncan, the pitching coach. So this is a huge sequence now for the Cardinals just to stay in this series, because they're already down 2-0. They're behind in this game 3-0, and Boston's looking at a big inning right now. So here is Ortiz, who has singled to right and grounded out to first. Cabrera at second, Ramirez at first, and the pitch. Changeup, low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes.
Suppan has thrown a lot of changeups. I think that was a changeup he threw to Manny that he hit in the left field for a base hit. He has not been fooling them with the changeup.
1 ball and no strikes. Here it comes. Swinging, there's a high fly ball. Fairly deep center, but playable for Edmonds. That comes in a little bit, makes the catch. He's going to fire to third, and he makes Cabrera go back to second. He makes a perfect 1-hop throw to Rowland.
Excellent play there by Edmonds, because he kept it low enough that if he didn't have a shot at third, they could have cut it off. That's the main thing. Be able to keep it down so they can cut it if they want to.
So Edmonds circled back so he could get a running start toward the infield as he caught that ball to get that forward momentum behind the throw. And the runners did not advance. 1 away. Here is Varitek, and Matheny out to the mound again to speak with Suppan. Starting pitching has been a problem for the Cardinals throughout this postseason. In their previous 13 games in the postseason, they've only had what you would call a quality start 3 times.
Well, we mentioned the fact that they're not overpowering pitchers. Their fastballs are not, big-time fastballs. And I think the players who do best in the postseason are guys who do have the good fastballs.
So now Varitek, who has hit into a force play and struck out, batting left-handed, and he takes a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. The Red Sox, by the way, have had 12 hits in 21 at-bats with runners in scoring position in this series. So they're hitting, 571 in the clutch.
Well, I think the key there, John, is that they put it in play in those situations.
Now the pitch, swing, and a sharp ground ball to first. Pujols has it. Over to second and 1. Renteria back to first. Pulled out of the dirt, but not in time. Pujols got back to the bag, scooped it out of the dirt, but just a little bit late.
Well, one thing that happened there, Pujols had a little trouble getting the ball out of his glove initially, and that's where they lost it. He has to reach in there twice. He makes a good throw to second, but because he had to reach in there twice, they lost the double play.
Got that big first baseman's trapper's glove, and the ball was spinning around in there, and he reached in for it, and the ball had spun out toward the outer part of the webbing, and that's when he had to reach in again before he got a grip on it. So runners at first and third now, 2 down. Varitek at first, over to third went Cabrera. And here is Bill Miller, switch hitter, batting left-handed. Swings, and it's a little chopped bouncer up the first base side, foul. Miller has lined out to center and lined a double to left center and scored a run. 1 for 2 for Miller in this game, and in this series he has gone 4 for 8. Miller, of course, was the batting champion in the American League last year. 3-0 Boston. Here's the pitch. Miller swings it. Hard ground ball through the hole into right field, a base hit. Coming in to score is Cabrera. Varitek goes to second and holds. So Bill Miller hit one sharply right through that hole on the right side. And the Red Sox have 2 runs home in the inning and lead 4-0.
And Miller's a great example of what I was just talking about. They do not have enough on their fastball to get in on him. I mean, he handles this type of pitching probably as well as anybody on the Cardinals, on the Boston ball club. If you can't throw the ball hard enough to make him have to jump at it, then he can handle you.
And that's going to do it for Suppan, who does not complete the 5th inning. Tony La Russa is headed to the mound. Trot Nixon due up, 2 runs in on 4 hits in this inning. And an inning that might have been over another day, but Pujols could not get that potential double play ball out of his glove immediately. And that little extra, split second, cost him a chance to get the double play to end the inning. So that's the way it's been going for the Cardinals right now. And right now, everything going for the Red Sox and going well. So Reyes comes in for the bullpen to face Nixon. 2 men on, 2 men out, 2 runs in, 4-0 Boston. This call to the bullpen is sponsored by Valvoline Max Life. At 75,000 miles, it's time to switch to Max Life. And this is Game 3 of the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio.
Tell us something neat that's happened in your life.
The first time I got to ride a horse, it's hard to describe.
When we finally scraped together the down payment on our new house.
Algonquin Park, man. I've been there with my dad many times in the summer. It's just beautiful. You don't watch TV for a week, but you don't really even need it.
Man, my greatest thrill of my life would have to be meeting her.
What? When my mom and I got our orange belt in karate.
Reasons not to drink and drive. Courtesy of your life. A reminder from the Brewers of Canada to please drink responsibly.
Let me describe my office. It's painted yellow with leather seats, windows on all 4 sides, and it's fast-paced. Why is this my office? Because all I need is email on my BlackBerry and I can deal with anything. So my office can be anywhere. Anywhere this cab can take me.
BlackBerry handheld from Rogers Wireless, redefining where you do email. Check out phone and email plans starting at $45 a month. Visit Rogers.com/BlackBerry. Your world right now.
Back with you at Busch Stadium. You're listening to the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio. Time now to check out the Go Deep Home Run Leaderboard, brought to you by GM Certified Used Vehicles. During the regular season, Albert Pujols, Jim Edmonds, and Scott Rowland combined to hit 122 home runs, the most of any trio of teammates in the majors this year. None of them has homered so far in the World Series. The Cardinals have just one as a team, that from Larry Walker. The Home Run Leaderboard brought to you by GM Certified Used Vehicles, inspected, reconditioned, and they come with a limited warranty, available only at participating Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, and GMC dealers. Visit your local GM Certified dealer or GMCertified.com. GM Certified Used Vehicles, the right way, the right car. 4-0 Boston and a pitching change for the Cardinals. Here's John Miller.
Okay, Dan, and Al Reyes on to pitch now. The right-hander added to the roster for this series with Steve Klein. They felt he was just not ready to pitch, although Klein felt differently about it. He was very unhappy that he was not included on the roster. Veteran left-hander. Here's Trot Nixon. He drives one into left center field. And going back into his left is the left fielder, Reggie Sanders, and he makes the catch. Nixon is gone on 1 pitch, and the inning is over. But Boston adds 2 more runs on 4 more hits. Now we go to the last of the 5th with Womack, Matheny, and the pitcher spot due up. And the Red Sox lead 4-0. It's Game 3 of the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the United States Postal Service.
Howdy. Are you having an affair at the office, at home, or at the Barbie Barn, home of the world's greatest spare ribs and chicken? Let us cater and deliver your party anytime, anywhere. Our party rooms can accommodate 20 to 250 guests, and all the facilities are free. You and your guests deserve the best, and that's home-cooked food from the Barbie Barn on Guy Street downtown and Sources Boulevard in the West Island.
If
If you haven't already heard of hedge funds, it's time you did. I'm Lauren Rubin of Paramount Financial Services. Hedge funds are one of Canada's fastest growing investment classes, offering positive return potential, lower volatility, and enhanced diversification, even in falling markets. Institutions such as Ontario Teachers Pension Plan, Harvard, and Yale have all increased their allocations to hedge funds. Should hedge funds have a place in your portfolio? Call me today to learn more at 905-0885. That's 905-0885.
If you've got unwanted sports memorabilia, don't throw it away. Clean up with KSKS Sports Collectibles. Once a year, KSKS goes on a shopping spree, and they've got thousands of dollars set aside for autographs, game-used sticks, sports trading cards, vintage sports publications, and game programs. Whether you've got individual items or entire collections, KSKS Sports Collectibles is ready to buy. Don't miss your chance to get your share as KSKS Sports Collectibles stocks their shelves. Call KSKS Sports Collectibles at 945-9603 or visit KSKSSports.com.
Moores and the well-dressed man. Remember that sport coat you had in the 70s? Yeah. Tan corduroy with dark brown patch elbows. You look good. Real good. 30 years ago. Update your look at Moores, where you'll find a great selection of sport coats and blazers starting at just $119.99. Moores, well-made, well-priced, well-dressed.
Last half of the fifth inning from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And the Cardinals come up with Tony Womack, then Mike Matheny, and the pitcher's spot due up third, and they are suddenly feeling the heat from the Boston Red Sox big time. There's a fastball in there for a strike. The Red Sox, great success last week coming from behind against the Yankees notwithstanding. This is a must-win for the Cardinals. They cannot afford to go down 3-0. There's a changeup low. I mean, you only need to look at what the Red Sox did last week. They did it. They overcame a 3-0 disadvantage, and they're the only team ever to do it in over 100 years of postseason play. The 1-1 pitch. Another changeup from Pedro. In at the knee, strike 2 call.
Well, obviously we know it can be done because the Red Sox just did it, but I wouldn't like to be the Cardinals and trying to do it again in 2 weeks.
There's a ball too high, a fastball missing 2-2. Now, based on the rate that it's been done, one time in 100 years or so, now I'd say if this was the 21-04 World Series, the Cardinals would be due to do it, right? I mean, down 3-0. There's a foul off to the left. But that's 100 years from now before a team would be due to make a spectacular comeback like that. Ball fouled out of play by Womack. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. He swings and fouls one. A little bloop off to the left into the crowd. Kiko Calero, a right-hander, is now warming up in the Cardinal bullpen with the pitcher due up third in the inning. 4 runs, 8 hits for Boston. No runs, 3 hits for the Cardinals. And a changeup struck him out swinging. And Pedro Martinez gets his 3rd strikeout of the game. Now Mike Matheny.
Well, anytime you let Pedro have a 4-0 lead, I mean, it gives him a little more confidence, of course, and he throws just enough strikes to keep you off balance. He got him with 2 changeups. That changeup was out of the strike zone.
Here's Matheny. He swings and lifts a high pop-up. Back of shortstop. Cabrera goes out, makes the catch, and just like that, Matheny's gone. He's 0 for 2. And Marlon Anderson, a left-handed batting infielder, is out on deck. He's going to be the pinch hitter for Al Reyes here in the 5th. Suddenly, since Pedro got off the hook in the 3rd inning, he's on a roll.
Yep.
He had runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out in the 3rd when Larry Walker hit the ground ball to the right side that should have gotten a run home and moved the other runner to 3rd. But the runner at 3rd, the pitcher Suppan, decided not to come home. And it ended up being turned into a double play. Pujols then grounded it out, and they have not had a base runner since. There's ball 1 to Marlon Anderson. Now the pitch, a swing and a pop-up. Right behind the pitcher's mound. Bill Miller, the 3rd baseman, is right there. On the grass, he makes the catch. And the Cardinals go down quickly and quietly. Another 10-pitch inning for Pedro, who has retired 8 in a row. On to the 6th inning now. Calero will come in from the Cardinal bullpen. Bellhorn, then Pedro and Damon due up, and the Red Sox are leading 4-0 in Game 3 of the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the United States Postal Service.
Ma'am, when you hire Sluggo the Clown for your kid's party, you hire the best. Oh, sure, my outfit's tattered, but my chimp Bubbles is almost entirely rabies-free.
Some people need work instilling confidence. To others, it comes naturally. Like the folks at GM Optimum, where all our used vehicles pass a 150-point inspection and come with a 30-day, 2,500-kilometer exchange privilege. And they're all backed by General Motors.
I assure you, ma'am, Bubbles almost never attacks. Unless you look at him, of course.
GM Optimum, something new in used vehicles.
How many times have you been in the middle of a job, needed a different tool, and then had to fumble for it? Not a problem with the Benchmark Flip Grip, only at Home Hardware. It flips from needle nose pliers to flat nose pliers and back. Now there's the Flip Grip Mini, small, convenient, and flips from needle nose pliers with wire strippers to cutters. Pick up your Benchmark Flip Grip Mini today, only at Home Hardware and Home Building Center. Help is close to home.
Driving down that road again, sure could use a friend to lend a helping hand.
Since 1956, Speedy is where Canadians go when they need a new muffler. And right now, during our fall muffler sale, most standard mufflers for domestic cars and light trucks are only $24.90. All others, including Dynamax and DNX performance mufflers, are 30% off. For great savings in quality mufflers, it's Speedy Muffler, Brake and Wheel. Still the king of mufflers.
What does it mean to be courageous? What does it mean to be a kid? Global News is teaming up with the Montreal Children's Hospital for a special series called Courageous Kids. 5 amazing kids, each of them battling life-threatening disorders. Tonight we'll focus on Alexi. This brave 4-year-old has already undergone 3 open-heart surgeries. In order to save his life, the cardiac surgeon will attempt to rebuild his injured heart. Courageous Kids, tonight on Global News at 6 and 11.
Number 6, and here come the Red Sox leading 4-0 in Game 3 of the World Series. Kiko Calero is on to pitch. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan on ESPN Radio. Game 4 tomorrow night. Derek Lowe scheduled against Jason Marquis. And the question is, will the Cardinals be battling just to stay alive tomorrow, or will they be trying to tie it up? There's a swing and a foul down the right field line by Mark Bellhorn. The switch hitter batting left-handed, facing the right-hander, Calero. And right now it does not look very promising with the Cardinals because Pedro is on a roll. Suddenly Pedro, who had problems in the first 3 innings, now he's in complete command. There's a ball missing. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One thing that happens with good pitchers, they can continue to work out there until they find their rhythm. And sometimes it takes an inning or 2, and that's when you have to get them.
There's a swing and a ground ball hit sharply to first, backhanded by Pujols. He gets up, runs it over to the bag. Pujols limping a little bit as he ran it over there. He's got that foot problem that's plagued him all year long. So 1 down, here comes Pedro. Pedro has struck out looking twice in this game. Meanwhile, the Cardinal starters have not been able to put together a strong one yet. In the first 3 games, he had Woody Williams, who went 2 1/3 innings in Game 1. Pedro takes a fastball to strike. He went 2 1/3, gave up 7 in Game 1. Matt Morris, 4 1/3, 4 runs allowed in Game 2. Suppan, 4 2/3 innings, 4 runs allowed here. Swing and a miss on the curveball, and he's 0-2 to Pedro. So they haven't had a starter even make it through the 5th inning yet in 3 games of the World Series. The 0-2 pitch. Slider low and outside for a ball. And tomorrow they're going with Jason Marquis, who'd been the guy who's been struggling more than any of the other starters in this postseason so far. He's been knocked out early both times he has started. Fastball very high. 2-2 to Pedro. Boston Red Sox, by the way, have never swept the World Series, which is not something that anybody's had to look up in a long time. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball, blue foul off to the right. Pedro got a piece of that one. Red Sox beat the Dodgers in 1916, 4-1. And in 1915 beat the Philadelphia Athletics 4-1. 2-2 pitch. Fastball is low. And then they beat the Cubs 4-2 in the 1918 World Series, led by their star pitcher, Babe Ruth. And they have not won a World Series since that time, since 1918. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Calero walks Pedro Martinez. And now the crowd is upset with Calero. There's a fog, by the way, that has drifted in over the rim of the stadium and is just lingering right up above. Like a thick fog that is lying low right over Busch Stadium. We had rain most of the day. A thunderstorm came in at around, 11 o'clock this morning or so, and rained up till about 6 or so this afternoon. Now Johnny Damon, left-handed hitter, and he looks at a curveball for a strike. Well, some things just don't add up, but I mean, walking Pedro Martinez, how do you think of that, Joe?
Well, I can't figure how they walk so many guys the entire, playoffs. I mean, Pedro is struck out twice. He doesn't put the ball in play, yet they couldn't throw in 3 strikes.
There's a changeup low from Calero. 1 ball, 1 strike. The first 2 games in Fenway Park, the Cardinal pitchers walked 14 Red Sox and hit 3. They gave away 17 base runners free of charge. The 1-1 pitch and a slider down and in, a check swing by Damon, and appeal made to the third base umpire Rutherford, and he says no swing. 2-1 the count. Tonight, the Red Sox have received 2 walks and a hit batsman. Two and 1 the count. Boston ahead 4-0 in the 6th. Calero to the plate. Swing and a bouncer to second. Could be 2. Womack to second 1. Renteria to first. 2. A double play. So the very fast Johnny Damon grounds into a rare double play to end the inning. Down the top of the order coming up with the Cardinals, and they need to get something going here because this season is suddenly getting very, very late. Renteria, Walker, and Pujols coming up. It's Boston 4, St. Louis nothing in Game 3 of the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the United States Postal Service.
A cool wind on a starry night miles above the sea. That's the feeling of Fresco. The scent of hot bread mingles with fresh brewed espresso. Pastas and sauces simmer in preparation of your home-style Italian meal. From the house specialties through all the traditional delicacies of Italy. For an intimate dinner in their dining room or a refreshing lunch on their terrace. Ristorante Fresco, 6040 Boulevard de Grand Prairie in St. Leonard. For reservations, call 329-1904. Ristorante Fresco.
A good real estate broker can make a difference in the sale of your city home, condo, or country property. At Town & Country Realty, they know selling a home can be difficult, time-consuming, and emotional, which is why they work to get you the best price for your home with the least stress for your family. For selling or buying, test the proven results of Town & Country Realty for yourself. Owner real estate broker Lois Monaker Moss of Town & Country Realty. Call 733-3221. 733-3221. Town & Country Realty. Simply the best. Vacations are over, and it's time to get back to business. Mick Copier offers you the lowest prices on top quality new Sharp and Canon remanufactured office solutions, digital copiers, printers, and fax machines, color black and white. And all Mick Copier equipment is protected by the Mick Copier exclusive 3-year warranty, so you can focus your attentions on getting the job done. Mick Copier, Canada's #1 seller of office solutions. Mick Copy down this number, 344-1515, 344-1515, or online at mickcopier.com.
Welcome back to Busch Stadium. Dan Shulman with you on ESPN Radio, and joined now by Dave Campbell. And soon we've seen a lot of Cardinal baseball, regular season and postseason. We haven't seen them fall flat in as many different areas as they are right now.
Yeah, pitching is, they haven't really challenged people. Interestingly, though, for the Boston Red Sox, they have not trailed since the 8th inning of Game 5. of the ALCS has 47 consecutive innings. St. Louis 4 for 24 with men in scoring position. The first inning blues continue. They give up another run 9 out of 10 games. And things are going so bad for the St. Louis Cardinals that the Red Sox have turned 2 double plays involving Manny Ramirez and another great noted defender, David Ortiz.
4-0 Boston going to the bottom of the 6th as we send it back to John Miller and Joe Morton.
All right, guys. And now the Cardinals coming up at the top of the order. Edgar Renteria, Larry Walker, and Albert Pujols. And Pedro has thrown 75 pitches in the first 5 innings. And it starts against the Yankees in the League Championship Series. The Yankees made him throw more than that. There's a called strike to Renteria on the inside. Pedro had 112 pitches in 6 innings in his Game 5 start against the Yankees, and 112 in 6 innings to start before that. Swinging and a ground ball foul off to the left, and quickly Pedro Martinez is ahead of Renteria. No balls and 2 strikes. But the more he's gone along here, the more easily he's been putting down the Cardinals. He's retired 8 in a row since Renteria's double. Change up in the dirt outside. Renteria hit a double in the 3rd inning with nobody out. They put runners at 2nd and 3rd as they had a great opportunity to go ahead in the game there, but they self-destructed. Now the windup, the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a broken back grounder hit for second. Over to his left, Bellhorn. He's got it. Flips it over to first to Ortiz for the out, and there is one away.
Well, what Pedro's doing now is trying to get ahead of each hitter, and in some instances they're taking the first pitch strike because they don't want to make it a short inning, and that plays right into his hands as well.
So here is Larry Walker. Ivan Sikowski tells us that he's had a first pitch strike to 8 of the last 9 hitters, although here to Walker now, he misses low with ball 1. Walker has walked and grounded into that double play that turned the Cardinals' fortunes around in this game. And it was not a double play ball that he hit. There's a swing, and he loops one over to second. Bellhorn steps over to his right and makes the catch, and Walker is gone. And really, since Renteria's double and third, nobody's even made hard contact.
Yeah. And again, that's what I said. If you take a pitch, he gets ahead of you as he did with Renteria. He misses. Now Walker gets a strike and breaks his bat. So Pedro has become very efficient with his pitches.
Albert Pujols got an infield hit in the first, grounded out to third in the 3rd, and he takes a ball outside. 1 ball and no strikes. 4-0. The Cardinals are trailing here in the 6th to the Red Sox. 4-0 Boston. Now fastball, and that's too high. 2-0. Scott Rowland is on deck. And Pedro working here in the 6th inning, and he is just barely past 80 pitches thrown in the game. 8 days since his last start. He starts his windup, then thinks better of it. He stops. Albert Pujols, the young right-handed batting slugger. The 2-0 pitch. And he pours in a fastball at the knees for a called strike. 2-1 the countdown. But you're going to hear the mood in Busch Stadium. I mean, the fans are just very quiet. Here's the pitch. That's a called strike. Knee high on the outside, and Pujols thought it was too low, and he has some harsh words for plate umpire Brian Gorman. And Gorman has had that low strike zone working tonight. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out with a fastball. And Pujols has a few more words for Gorman. Pedro Martinez has retired 11 in a row. On to the 7th inning. Cabrera, Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz coming up. Boston 4, St. Louis 0. You're listening to the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the United States Postal Service.
Have you ever thought about expanding your business to the internet? With VeryPayment.com, you can acquire a merchant account and begin to accept credit cards online instantly. Whether you have a unique product, a mainstream commodity, or valuable service, selling online is an excellent method of generating new clients and new income.
Watch revenues grow as we help bring the world to you. Align your business with verypayment.com to take advantage of the huge opportunity the internet has to offer. Service, security, satisfaction. verypayment.com, your online verified payment solution.
If you've got unwanted sports memorabilia, don't throw it away. Clean up with KSKS Sports Collectibles. Once a year, KSKS goes on a shopping spree, and they've got thousands of dollars set aside for autographs, game-used sticks, sports trading cards, vintage sports publications, and game programs. Whether you've got individual items or entire collection, KSKS Sports Collectibles is ready to buy. Don't miss your chance to get your share as KSKS Sports Collectibles stocks their shelves. Call KSKS Sports Collectibles at 945-9603 or visit KSKSSports.com.
Dedication to excellence is the hallmark of Mercedes-Benz. At Silver Star Mercedes-Benz, that excellence is manifold. Before selecting your pre-owned Mercedes, visit Silver Star for a whole new pre-owned experience. North America's largest indoor display of pre-owned Mercedes-Benz vehicles awaits you. Over 200 cars displayed at Silver Star Mercedes' new 40,000 square foot showroom, and every one backed by the rigorous Mercedes-Benz certification process. A star-certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz from Silver Star Mercedes-Benz, the Carey Corner Ferrier. You could drive a new car, or you could drive a Mercedes.
Without proper insulation, your garage door will lose you heat and money. Start thinking about an insulated garage door from the Door Doctor. The Door Doctor is your Garaga door expert, offering the best protection from the elements for your garage. The Garaga High Technology door is insulated with high-pressure injected polyurethane foam to ensure top thermal resistance and remarkable sturdiness. Keep your garage warm in the winter and cool in the summer with Garaga door from the Door Doctor. 631-3130.
Now for Joe Morgan to answer the United States Postal Service question of the game. Joe, the question is from Paul Hickerson of Waterford, Ohio. It's a thoughtful question. He says, what causes a player to go into a dramatic slump and then come out of it suddenly, like Johnny Damon versus the Yankees? Couldn't get a hit, and then they couldn't get him out in Game 7. What do you think? Here's the pitch now to Orlando Cabrera from Kiko Calero, and it's ball one.
Well, hitting is all about confidence, and because it's such a thing to do, I mean, you're going to fail 7 out of 10 times, even if you hit 300 as a batting average with 3 hits out of 10. So your confidence goes up and down with each at bat. With, you know, if you go 0 for 4, you're swinging and missing, or you're not seeing the ball well. I think in the case of Johnny Damon, he said he wasn't seeing the ball well. He wasn't getting himself in good hitting positions. But there are so many little things that could go wrong. You know, you start your body forward too quick or whatever. But most of it has to do with confidence. And then the first time you get a base hit, your confidence returns.
After Cabrera fouled one back over the screen out of play, he takes the ball up and away. 2-1 the count to Cabrera with Ramirez and Ortiz to follow.
And when he got the one base hit and then he hit a couple of home runs, that just his confidence was sky high after that.
There's a strike on the outside, 2-2. What's the worst slump you ever had?
I refuse to discuss that at this time. I went 0 for 31, I think it was once.
0 for 31?
Yeah, but it was over the course of a week or so because I was walking a lot and whatever. But yeah, I never thought I could do that either.
You never told me about that. Well, I swing a foul back to the screen.
The most I'd probably ever gone before that was like 7, 8 or something like that.
I remember Frank Robinson when he was managing the Orioles in 1988, and they had that 21-game losing streak this time of the year. The whole team was in a slump. And Frank, talking to all the writers that came in from all over the country to follow this terrible, depressing story, and Frank talked about his own slump one year where he was something like 0 for 22, 0 for 24, whatever it was. There's a swing and a foul back to the screen. It is still 2-2 to Cabrera. And he said, you know, when he got up to around 0 for 20, he started thinking, I must have lost it. I may never get a hit again.
Well, you do think that you may never get a hit again because, again, it's about confidence and your psychological state every time you step in the batter's box. But for me, it was a little different because I didn't strike out much. I just wasn't getting a base hit.
2-2 pitch is driven into left center field into the alleyway. That's going to be a base hit, and it rolls all the way through to the wall. Edmonds goes out to chase it. Heading for second is Cabrera, and he pulls up there with a stand-up double. His second hit of the game.
I mean, he looks awkward at times. He will overswing at a curveball away. But you make a mistake in the middle of the plate, and he usually hits it pretty hard. That was a fastball up and out of the strike zone, but it was in the middle of the plate, and he laced it up the gap in left center field. If you make mistakes in the middle, he will hurt you.
And now Manny Ramirez, a guy who can hurt you sometimes even if you don't make a mistake with him.
Well, that's the difference. I mean, this Boston team beats you up. I mean, they really do. I mean, they've got 9 hits already because they swing the bat so well.
Cabrera has had 2 of those hits, a single in that 2-run 5th inning rally, now a double. And here's Manny Ramirez, who's had 2 hits, including a homer and an RBI single. And he takes a called strike with a breaking ball.
And they've hit a lot of other balls hard as well, forgetting the 9 base hits.
In the Cardinal bullpen, left-hander Ray King is warming up with the left-handed batting power hitter David Ortiz on deck. Cabrera at second, nobody out. Now the 1-strike delivery, and wow, just missing in the outside with a breaking ball. A ball and a strike. So our thanks to Paul Hickerson from Waterford, Ohio, who has won an ESPN Radio gift pack. To ask your U.S. Postal Service question of the game, log on to ESPNRadio.com. The Boston already ahead 4-0 in the 7th inning. And Manny Ramirez at the plate. Here's the pitch. Slider called a strike on the outside this time. Now Manny wants to know, well, what's the strike? The previous one actually looked a little bit better than that one, and it was called a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Manny. One and 2 the count. Ramirez stands back in. Windmills the bat around a little bit, alternating the weight between the front and the back foot. The pitch, slider from Calero, down and away. Interesting article in the New York Times yesterday about Manny Ramirez's good friend that he calls fondly Macaco, who is Carlos Ferreira from New York. He was Manny's Little League coach when Manny lived in Washington Heights, not far from Yankee Stadium. And they stayed very close. He said he is almost like a father to Manny now. Here's the pitch. Slider, and again, just off the outside. Call the ball, and he's 3-2. But Ferreira came up to Boston for the first 2 games of the series. Manny had him as his guest, and he works the graveyard shift in a hospital in New York, so he had to go back to work. Could not come here to St. Louis. But Ferreira said that when Manny played Little League, the thing that made him stand out was not that he had great talent, it was just that he worked so hard at it. 3-2 pitch. Slider, a check swing, and it's just off the outside, and Manny gets a walk.
Well, he's throwing about 100 sliders in a row.
So now Tony La Russa is going out to the mound. He's got the big left-handed slugger Ortiz coming up, followed by a couple of switch hitters and another lefty. So he's got King ready in the bullpen. Runners at first and second, nobody out, and Tony takes the ball from Calero. So King is coming in. 4-0 Boston. In the 7th, 2 men on, nobody out. This call to the bullpen is sponsored by Valvoline Max Life. At 75,000 miles, it's time to switch to Max Life. This is Game 3 of the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio.
What's the biggest enemy your engine faces? Friction. It robs your vehicle of power and performance. Quaker State motor oils have been specially formulated to reduce engine friction, no matter what type of vehicle you drive. Quaker State higher mileage engine is formulated to condition seals, reduce friction, and restore power in vehicles over 120,000 kilometers. And only Quaker State offers a 10-year, 400,000-kilometer limited warranty, even if you change your own oil. Quaker State, with the power to reduce friction for the performance you want. Ask for Quaker State motor oils at your local garage.
Take your dream holiday for less than you thought you'd pay.
When I needed to get away, I shopped all the vacation websites, but ended up back at selloffvacations.com. They took care of everything. The price was amazing, and the resort was fabulous. And at these prices, I'm already planning my next vacation.
selloffvacations.com.
Check it out for yourself. Go online or call 1-877-SELL-OFF today and book your dream holiday for less.
selloffvacations.com.
The
Welcome back to Busch Stadium. Dan Shulman with you on ESPN Radio. As one season perhaps nears its end over the next few days, another is set to begin. Fans, make sure to tune in next Tuesday night as the 10th season of the NBA on ESPN Radio tips off with the world champion Detroit Pistons hosting Yao Ming, Tracy McGrady, and the Houston Rockets. Coverage begins at 7:40 Eastern Time. It's opening night in the NBA next Tuesday night, and it's only on ESPN Radio. For more information, log on to ESPNRadio.com. Another pitching change for the Cardinals with the details. Back to John and Joe.
All right, Dan, and here's Ray King, the left-hander who had a very strong year, one of the best left-handed specialists in the National League this year.
Well, he's got his work cut out because David Ortiz is not bothered very much by left-handed pitching.
And Ortiz, keep in mind, because you know Fenway Park is a good hitter's ballpark, and Ortiz hits well there, but Ortiz hit more homers on the road than he hit at Fenway. He hit 24 home runs away from Fenway Park this year. 2 men on, nobody out. Left-hander against left-hander. Here's the pitch. Slider low and outside for ball one. You know, I know you pointed out many times how the Red Sox are trying to disrupt the flow of Matt Morris in the game on Sunday. You know, stepping out and calling timeout, that sort of thing. And it bugged Ray King. Here's the pitch. That is too low for a ball. It bugged him even though he wasn't in the game most of the time when it was happening. And King said something to the effect of, he didn't say it was all about the Red Sox. He said the American League. American League games are too long. And he wondered why it took so long for the Red Sox, not just to get in the batter's box, but to even make pitching changes. And he said, hey, baseball's a game where you get in and out. You bat, you throw, you catch. If you want to be on TV, you should become an actor. You're at the ballpark, you're ready to go. It's a game of baseball, not a fashion show. 2-0 the count to Ortiz. Now he backs away, and you'll make him wait. And he just walked out of the box and took a stroll. Walked away, looked off into the distance. Now he's back in there. Ortiz has had a single, grounded out and flied out, 1 for 3. The pitch, swing and a miss. Good low fastball. 2-1.
Well, Ray King is not afraid to challenge anyone. I mean, he'll challenge you with his fastball or his cut fastball. Both of his pitches are hard anyway. Whether it be a fastball or a slider, they're pretty much hard pitches. He doesn't have a changeup. At least he doesn't throw it very often.
Cabrera at second, Ramirez at first. Here's the pitch. And a fastball in there at 93 miles an hour. Strike 2 call. Left-handed hitters as a group have hit only 150 against King this year. So he's been a nightmare for most left-handed hitters. Here's the stretch. Now the pitch. Slider, and it is in the dirt. And it's funny because he just really blew 2 fastballs right by him. And then he went back to the slider.
Yeah, well, I think the one point is they have a lot of respect for David Ortiz, and they're just trying to mix their speed.
So now it's 3-2. Cabrera at second. Ramirez at first. Nobody out in the 7th inning. Now the strike. Here it comes. Swinging a little bouncer hit slowly up the first base side. Over to get it is Pujols, and he'll take it to the bag himself for the out as the runners advance. Cabrera over to third, and Ramirez over to second. So Ortiz makes it out, but he moves the runners out.
And he also moves them in position where they can almost break the game open if they can get a base hit here. Even if they just tack on a run, it's going to be very, very difficult.
So Varitek is coming up. Varitek, the switch hitter, and then another switch hitter, Miller, on deck. First base is open. They're going to go ahead and walk Varitek to set up the double play and let the middle infielders play back in double play debt and hope to get out of the inning just facing Miller. And well, now here comes La Russa. He's going to go out and talk to King about it.
Well, it's obvious King didn't want to do it. You know, I agree with Tony La Russa. I think you got to try to get out of this inning without them scoring any runs. And if he hits a ground ball someplace, you're going to score a run. So why not put it in a situation where if he hits the ground ball for you, you might be able to get the double play and get out of the inning. So Bill Miller doesn't run well, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and pitch to him. I mean, I'm surprised.
Because a moment ago, Matheny was signaling for 4. The infield is in all the way around. Runners at second and third. Here's the pitch. Off the outside for ball 1.
Unless they're going to have that great strategy, pitch to him, but don't give him anything to hit.
Pitch around him.
Yeah.
The 1-0 pitch. Off the outside again. 2-0. All right, so this is the thing. I mean, the Red Sox have shown a great ability to not swing at pitches like that in this series. 2-0 pitch. Low one outside. Ball 3.
Well, I mean, he's walking him intentionally anyway. Why not just go ahead and do it as Tony told him to do or wanted him to do originally?
Not as much of a chance for a mistake.
Right, exactly.
The 3-0 pitch up and away, so he ends up walking him anyway. So they end up in the same place.
Yeah.
And Varitek's a catcher. I mean, he's involved in those kind of decisions all the time anyway on the other side of it. I mean, he knew that they were going to pitch around him. And he did not chase any pitches out of his own.
Well, the whole point was that, I mean, if he hits a fly ball, if in one of those pitches he reaches out and pokes it to right field, he still defeated what you were trying to do.
The right-hander Julian Tavares up in the Cardinal bullpen now. The bases are loaded. The middle infield, double play depth. The pitch to Miller. Swing at a high fly ball, twisting foul down the right field line and back in amongst the spectators out of play as Walker gave chase. Bill Miller tonight is lined out to center, lined a double to left center, and singled home a run. So he's hit the ball hard all 3 times. 2 hits, 3 at bats. Now he's batting right-handed. The bases are loaded. A chance to bust it open here. Here's the pitch. Swinging the ground ball to third, picked up by Rowland. Steps to the bag 1. Throws over to first in the dirt, but it's pulled out by Pujols. A double play, and the inning is over. Rowland went for the double play all the way rather than going home with that throw, and Pujols made it work in the final analysis with his glove work at first base.
And that's why you walk the guy to load the bases.
So, all's well that ends well there for the Cardinals. And we're going to keep it here now. 4-0. Boston ahead. The 7th-inning stretch is brought to you by Rolaids. Fast relief for the way we live. And let's go to the public address announcer at Busch Stadium, John Hewlett.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
In recognition.
Take your dream holiday for less than you thought you'd pay. The best price online today. SellOffVacations.com.
Our name tells only half the story. With selloffvacations.com, you get the best last-minute prices and the best price when you book in advance.
SellOffVacations.com.
Guaranteed lowest prices today and every day. Visit selloffvacations.com or call 1-877-SELL-OFF.
Best price online. SellOffVacations.com.
Time to take another call on Guys Talking to Guys. On the line, Steve from Halifax.
Yeah, Bill, I just picked up a new big screen TV.
Nice.
Yeah, and someone at home thinks it's too big.
Now, how big is it, Steve?
97 inches.
That's all?
That's what I said.
Steve, you should go out to Tim Hortons and order your favorite sandwich.
Okay.
but get it on a large country bun.
I can do that?
You can do that. Like I always say, Steve, TVs or sandwiches can never be too big.
Can I quote you?
Anytime, buddy.
It sits between the cushions in the sofa. It bathes in the city's fountains. It lies in the nooks beneath your car seats. It's loose change, and it's how your kids at college pay for pizza, drive-thrus, and instant noodles. It's not how they should pay their cell phone bill.
Why not help them out with Rogers Family Plan? 2 phones, lots of minutes, all on one bill, so you can stay in touch with them wherever they are. Rogers Wireless, your world, right now.
Get the details at Radio Shack or wherever Rogers Wireless products are sold.
What's the biggest enemy your engine faces? Friction. It robs your vehicle of power and performance. Quaker State motor oils have been specially formulated to reduce engine friction, no matter what type of vehicle you drive. Quaker State higher mileage engine is formulated to condition seals, reduce friction, and restore power in vehicles over 120,000 kilometers. And only Quaker State offers a 10-year, 400,000 kilometer limited warranty, even if you change your own oil. Quaker State, with the power to reduce friction for the performance you want. Ask for Quaker State motor oils at your local garage.
Now the Cardinals last in the 7th inning in St. Louis. Amy Grant led the crowd in the singing of God Bless America during the 7th inning stretch. The crowd trying to find some wellspring of energy after their beloved Cardinals were running themselves out of 2 different would-be rallies. A bases-loaded 1-out spot in the 1st inning, and they did not score. 2nd and 3rd, and nobody out in the 3rd inning, and they did not score. And since that time, Pedro Martinez has been in complete command. He's retired 11 in a row. So here is Scott Rowland to try and get them started. 4-0 Boston, and Pedro starts him with a changeup, going outside for ball 1. Doug Minkiewicz goes in to play first base. A defensive change. David Ortiz out of the game. The pitch. Fastball high and tight for a ball. And Scott Rowland is still looking for his first hit in this World Series. Tonight he has walked and grounded out to third. He is 0 for 9. Rowland started this way in the division series. Couldn't get a hit. The pitch now. Swing and a roller to first. Right to Minkiewicz. He waves off Pedro. Takes it to the bag for the put out. That was really just kind of like a half swing by Rowland.
Well, he was trying to check his swing on the ball that ran in on him. And, hey, Pedro is using both sides of the plate, changing speeds. I mean, he is the Pedro of old without the 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He is still a great pitcher because he knows what he's doing on the mound. He knows how to change speeds.
And the way this World Series is going, Pedro could well be pitching for the final time as a member of the Red Sox. He's a free agent at the end of the year. There's no guarantee the Red Sox will re-sign him. Here's Jim Edmonds, the left-handed batting slugger. Takes a strike call to the outside. And it is 0-1. Edmonds hit a pop fly into a double play to end the 1st inning when Larry Walker was sent home and was thrown out by plenty by Manny Ramirez. There's a changeup too low for a ball. A ball and a strike to Edmonds, and Edmonds flied out to shallow left center in the 4th, so he is 0 for 2 in the game. 1 for 10 in the series. And that's up and away for a ball. So he's 1 for 10, and Rowland is 0 for 10 in this series. 2 300 hitters, each of whom drove in over 100 runs during the season. And they've each been shut down by the Red Sox. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he's very late. And I would call that a fastball, but it wasn't all that fast according to the radar gun, but he swung as if it was fast.
Well, it's a high fastball, and it's running away from him. And as I said earlier, he seems to have more uppercut in his swing tonight than I've seen him in a while.
Now the 2-2 pitch. Change up in the dirt. Full count now, 3-2 to Edmonds. The Cardinals have only 3 hits against Pedro, all in the first 3 innings. And then when they let him off the hook in the 3rd, Pedro settled in. Nobody has reached base since the 3rd inning for the Cardinals. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he was again blown away by a high fastball, and he was way late on it again. 5 strikeouts for Pedro.
Pedro is changing speed. They can't sit on the fastball. They can't sit on the changeup. He is throwing both pitches equally successfully tonight after the 1st inning.
Curveball for a first pitch strike to Reggie Sanders. Sanders is flied out to shallow left and struck out. 2 down and nobody on. Pedro Martinez is dominant. Now a changeup. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Wow. He got through the 4th inning on 10 pitches, the 5th inning on 10 pitches, the 6th inning, 11 pitches. So he's doing it methodically and making it look now almost ridiculously easy against the best hitting team in the National League this year. Pedro started his motion, but Sanders stepped out on him. Sanders is flied to shallow left and struck out. He's 0 for 2 and 0 for 8 in the series. Now he swings and lifts a high foul out of play off to the right. Let's pause 10 seconds here for station identification. It's the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the U.S. Postal Service.
You're catching live coverage of Major League Baseball play-by-play on the Fan Radio Network.
I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan on ESPN Radio, back in St. Louis, last of the 7th, and a fastball on the outside at 92 miles an hour, taken for a ball by Reggie Sanders. Tony Womack would be next. 4-0, Boston ahead. 2 down, nobody on. Pedro Martinez into his windup. He throws. Swing and a miss on a fastball. He struck him out. 14 in a row retired by Pedro. He's got a 3-hit shutout through 7, and he's just now reached 100 pitches for the game. Now to the 8th inning. Nixon, Bellhorn, and Pedro due up. Boston 4 and St. Louis 0. The 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the United States Postal Service, continues after these messages from your local station.
Big and tall-sized men, don't despair. MH Grover & Sons has your perfect fit. Get today's fall fashions in the sizes you need. Columbia ski jackets, 3-in-1 in sizes up to 6XL. Winter coats up to 7XL. Suits up to size 70. Jeans up to size 72. Shoes up to size 17. Get hot names like Nautica, Pele, and Jack Victor. MH Grover & Sons, 4741 Wellington, corner 3rd Avenue in Verdun. Or call 769-3771. MH Grover & Sons. They never met a man they could not handle.
When it comes to the maintenance of your car, you need someone you can trust. Since 1928, Nelson Garage has offered the same care and high standards. At Nelson's, safety is their #1 priority. Let Nelson's conscientious professionals get your car ready for the first snowfall. Nelson's got a full selection of winter tires and same-day service so you can put your worries behind you. Nelson Garage, 1100 DeCary Boulevard. Call 481-0155, 481-0155. Nelson Garage, serving your needs for 76 years. A member of the Auto Pro Network. The right-at-home feeling of Bar Hymas isn't just available later in the day. Bar Hymas is now open for breakfast, too. For lunch, dinner, and now first thing in the morning. Light or hearty, Bar Hymas serves it fresh. And always with the friendly service that's made Bar Hymas a favorite home away from home. And at Bar Hymas, breakfast begins at 6 a.m. and starts at under $3. That's under $3. Bar Hymas, 177 Hymas in Point Claire. If you find a cheaper breakfast anywhere else, you probably shouldn't put it in your mouth.
If you haven't already heard of hedge funds, it's time you did. I'm Lauren Rubin of Paramount Financial Services. Hedge funds are one of Canada's fastest growing investment classes, offering positive return potential, lower volatility, and enhanced diversification, even in falling markets. Institutions such as Ontario Teachers Pension Plan, Harvard, and Yale have all increased their allocations to hedge funds. Should hedge funds have a place in your portfolio? Call me today to learn more at 905-0885. That's 905-0885.
Number 8 from Busch Stadium, St. Louis. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan. The World Series on ESPN Radio, and the St. Louis Cardinals in danger of falling behind 3-0 in this World Series. They're trailing here in Game 3, 4-0 to Boston. But Pedro Martinez may well be done, Joe, the way he left the field, and everybody congratulated him and patted him on the back, shook his hand as he got back to the dugout. Gabe Kapler, a right-handed batter, pinch hitting against Ray King, who throws him a fastball in the dirt for ball 1.
Yeah, but Temlin has been pitching okay out of the bullpen, and you still have Keith Folk down there.
So Pedro, who has now thrown 100 pitches through 7, There's a swing. Kapler hits a foul off to the right that will go back into the crowd, and it is 1 ball and 1 strike. So, and we've seen it firsthand in the postseason. You know, every time Pedro gets up over 100, right around 104, 105 pitches or so, something bad happens to him. It happened twice in the Yankee series.
I have to tell you, I don't think anything bad was going to happen today.
There's a ground ball foul on the third base side. Well, the things that are different, the Yankees made him throw well over 100 pitches by the 6th inning in those 2 games. And tonight, he just reached 100 on his last pitch of the 7th inning. So,
and not only that, John, I mean, he wasn't using the fastball. He didn't have a fastball like he did against the Yankees. He was doing it with his slider and his curveball and his changeup.
There's a fastball a little bit low from King to Kapler. 2-2 the count. Pedro had only 1 high pitch, real high stress inning. That was the first inning. He threw only 75 pitches in his last 6 innings of work. 2-2 pitch. Swinging a bouncer off the fist towards short. Cutting over from third is Roland. He's got it. Throws the first in time, and Kapler is out. 1 away. Mike Tinlin, you mentioned, has been throwing well, and he's up in the bullpen now for Boston. So I guess Francona may be looking at going with Timlin for the 8th and Folk for the 9th. And go back to the hotel ahead 3-0. Visions of a victory parade are being seen all around New England. Here is Mark Bellhorn. And he takes low for a ball. Bellhorn is switch hitter, batting right-handed. Kevin Millar comes out on deck, and he apparently will be the pinch hitter for Pedro Martinez. 4-0. Boston ahead. Top of the 8th. 1 out, nobody on. Ray King delivers, and Bellhorn swings and lifts a high pop-up. Shallow right. In comes Walker, the right fielder. Now moves to his right a bit as the wind seems to carry it. And he's got it for out number 2. 2 down, and now Millar. Millar, who lost his spot here in the National League ballpark at first base with David Ortiz being moved into the lineup. No longer the designated hitter, so Millar coming off the bench as a pinch hitter. 2 down, nobody on. Boston ahead 4-0. Timlin getting ready to come on for the Red Sox. Tavares, the right-hander, warming up in the Cardinals bullpen. Kevin Millar stands in, right-handed hitter, opened up stance, and he takes a fastball for a called strike on the outside. Millar's had 1 hit in 6 at-bats in the World Series. 4 runs, 9 hits for Boston, no runs, 3 hits for the Cardinals. Here's the pitch, and that slider is over the outside, strike 2 call. To the count. Here's King. He sets. He throws. Fastball a little bit low for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You know, we're talking about Pedro. Maybe this is his last game for the Red Sox. If so, and he's going to be out there as free agent, I suppose the price may have went up after his great show here tonight. There's a swing, ground ball to third, backing up Roland, plays a tough hop backhander, throws a 1-hopper to first, and Pujols pulls out the hop again, and the inning is over. 3 up and 3 down. The Cardinals have only 6 outs left to them before going behind 3-0. Tinlin will come in for the bullpen for the Red Sox. Womack, Matheny, and the pitcher's spot due for St. Louis. It is 4-0 Boston. It's Game 3 of the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the United States Postal Service.
Rogers Yahoo High-Speed Internet is bringing you some fantastic new premium content and services. And to celebrate, we're handing out a total of $400,000. 4 lucky people will each get a $100,000 paycheck for performing a very simple task: going online and registering. That's it. Just register and enter for your chance to win one of 4 $100,000 checks. Go now to rogers.yahoo.com. This could be the easiest job you've ever had.
Okay, time for another call on Guys Talking to Guys.
Yeah, well, we have a cleaning lady, right?
Right.
And my wife always has us tidying up before she comes.
Ah, yes, cleaning up for the cleaning lady.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, I've never figured this one out. Makes no sense.
That's what I just said.
But you know what does make sense?
What?
Going to Tim Hortons for lunch. From chili to beef stew to large sandwiches.
Ooh.
Lunch at Tim Hortons is something a guy can really appreciate.
Now that makes sense.
As I like to say, it's guy-logical.
Can you say that on the radio?
Just did. Next caller.
At participating Tim Hortons.
Take your dream holiday for less than you thought you'd pay.
When I needed to get away, I shopped all the vacation websites, but ended up back at selloffvacations.com. They took care of everything. The price was amazing, and the resort was fabulous. And at these prices, I'm already planning my next vacation.
selloffvacations.com.
Check it out for yourself. Go online or call 1-877-SELL-OFF today and book your dream holiday for less.
selloffvacations.com.
If your hair is moving in the wrong direction, if you notice thinning in all the wrong places, don't be embarrassed. You can stop it in its tracks before it's too late. Antech Hair Laboratories have been successfully treating hair loss for over 25 years. Their all-natural proven methods use no drugs, no steroids, and no painful surgery. With their money-back guarantee, you can't afford not to call for a free confidential consultation. Antech Hair Laboratories. Stop hair loss in its tracks today. Call 843-4300. That's 843-4300.
We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Here come the Cardinals trailing 4-0 in the 8th inning. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan on ESPN Radio. And here are the Boston Red Sox, the team that was all but finished. In fact, I think declared dead and buried after Game 3 in the League Championship Series against the Yankees. And not only did they lose that game, they just got annihilated. One of the worst losses ever in any postseason game. 19-8. It was an embarrassing night. And yet here they are. They're in the World Series. They have never lost a game since.
Well, and they've won 6 consecutive games, and this will be the 7th if they're able to hold this lead.
7 is the all-time record in a single postseason for a winning streak. Your 1976 Cincinnati Reds did it. Here's Womack, and he takes a called strike. They swept the National League Championship Series that year, and then swept the World Series from the Yankees.
Yeah, that was a little different because we only played 7 games.
I mean, you guys did not have to come from behind any deficit in the League Championship Series. Womack gets a one-hopper to third. Miller, who was into the grass playing in shallow, picks it up, throws to first, and Womack is retired. He's now 0 for 3. 1 gone, and the batter will be Mike Matheny. And in fact, no, it's going to be Roger Cedeno coming up as the pinch hitter for Matheny. 4-0. Boston leading in the last of the 8th. The 1995 Braves had a 7-game postseason winning streak. And the 1998 Yankees did it. 3 teams that posted 6-game postseason winning streaks, then lost 4 straight games during the same postseason. This ball 1 to Roger Cedeno, a switch hitter batting left-handed. The 1999 Braves were one of those teams. They got swept by the Yankees in the World Series after winning 7 in a row. There's a called strike, 1-1. And the Yankees this year had that 4-game losing streak after they had won 7 in a row. 4 against the Twins and 3 against the Red Sox. 1 out, nobody on. The pitch to Cedeno. Swing and a miss on a fastball at 93 miles an hour. 1-2 the count. Another left-handed hitter, John Mabry, has come out on deck for the Cardinals, who have not had a man reach base since the 3rd inning. 15 in a row have been retired since Renteria hit a double with nobody out in the 3rd. Swinging a bounding ball to short. Over to his right, Cabrera plays the high hop with a backhand grab and throws him out at first, out number 2. So 2 down, nobody on, and John Mabry will come up. $52,015 is the official paid crowd tonight at Busch Stadium. And the fans here, they just can't believe it. And I'm not sure I believe it either. Because the Cardinals, they may be playing their worst ball of the whole season right now in the World Series. There's a fastball inside to Mabry. Julian Tavares, the right-hander, warming up in the bullpen to pitch the 9th inning. for the Cardinals. 4-0, Boston ahead. Here's Timlin. He throws, and that's low and inside for a ball. So the World Series is, I mean, I don't think there's ever been a 6th game in a World Series for a team that jumped ahead 3 games to none. Not in the World Series. It had happened a couple of other times in LCS play. And, of course, happened this year. There's the ground ball to first. Picked up by Minkiewicz. He waves off Timlin, runs it to the bag for the out. And Timlin retires the side on 9 pitches. 16 consecutive Cardinals have been retired. And on to the 9th inning now. In fact, 3, 6, 9, 12, 17 in a row have been retired. We go to the 9th. Damon, Cabrera, Manny Ramirez. Coming up, it is 4-0 Red Sox. The 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the United States Postal Service, continues after these messages from your local station.
Howdy. Welcome to 37 years of home-cooked food. The Barbie Barn cooks their long, succulent, meaty spare ribs and plump, juicy chickens the old-fashioned way by slowly roasting and basting them in their special sauces for greater flavor and fall-off-the-bone tenderness. Consistency is what makes the Barbie Barn a Montreal institution. So come on down to the original spare rib and chicken house, the Barbie Barn, on Guy Street downtown and Sources Boulevard in the West Island.
What you got in your bag? Visit PC Info's online store for all your computing needs. Full systems, components, or software. PCInfoComputers.com has it. With full systems starting from just $419. Whether you're tweaking for graphics, sound, business, or kick-ass gaming, PCInfoComputers.com. And every PC Info machine comes with a 3-year warranty and tech support 7 days a week. PCInfoComputers.com. Or stop by PC Info on St. Charles and Pierrefort and on Curie Labelle Boulevard in Laval. PCInfoComputers.com. Created by Menix Design.
A good real estate broker can make a difference in the sale of your city home, condo, or country property. At Town & Country Realty, they know selling a home can be difficult, time-consuming, and emotional, which is why they work to get you the best price for your home with the least stress for your family. For selling or buying, test the proven results of Town & Country Realty for yourself. Owner real estate broker Lois Monaker Moss of Town & Country Realty. Call 733-3221. 733-3221. Town & Country Realty. Simply the best.
What does it mean to be courageous? What does it mean to be a kid? Global News is teaming up with the Montreal Children's Hospital for a special series called Courageous Kids. 5 amazing kids, each of them battling life-threatening disorders. Tonight we'll focus on Alexei. This brave 4-year-old has already undergone 3 open-heart surgeries. In order to save his life, the cardiac surgeon will attempt to rebuild his injured heart. Courageous Kids, tonight on Global News at 6 and 11.
You are listening to a Team 990 exclusive broadcast. Stay tuned for Sports Rage coming up right after the game.
From Busch Stadium, St. Louis, and the script has not played out the way the Cardinal fans had it figured. The Cardinals, who won 105 games in the regular season, are supposed to make their triumphant re-entry into this 2004 World Series. But the Red Sox are doing so again. 4-0 Boston as we go to the 9th. Keith Folk, the Boston closer, who's been just a sensation in this postseason, is getting ready in the bullpen.
Well, I definitely believe that, Boston has played their game, and that is just beat you up, just hit. And that's what they do best. St. Louis has not been able to play their game, but I think the Red Sox have had a lot to do with that.
There's Johnny Damon to lead off against Julian Tavares. A new catcher also in Yadier Molina on the catch, and he'll bat 9th. Tavares into the 8th spot in the order, and there's ball 1 to Damon, who was lined to right, ground to the second. He's hit a double and scored a run, and he's grounded into a double play. Swings and fouls one off the left field line into the crowd. A ball and a strike. Suppan, the starter, went 4 2/3 innings and gave up 4 runs and 8 hits. And at that, you would have to say that was the best performance by a Cardinal starter so far in this World Series. And therein lies one of the big problems. That's if you don't look at the lack of offense. There's a fastball just off the outside. 2-1 the count. The Cardinals starters in the 3 games have worked a total of 11 1/3 innings and given up 15 runs and 20 hits. A 12.16 ERA. Woody Williams, Matt Morris, and Jeff Suppan. Now the pitch, swinging a drive into center, drifting over to his right a bit. Jim Edmonds reaches out, makes the catch, and there is one away. Damon is 1 for 5. Now a special message from Joe Morgan.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
You know, you do that so well. I'm going to suggest to the commissioner that all broadcasts in baseball now have a tape of you reading that and just play that. There's ball 1 now to Orlando Cabrera.
One thing I want to bring up, and I know Tony La Russa doesn't want to hear it, but his teams have lost 7 straight games in the World Series. They were swept by the Cincinnati Reds in 1990, and they could be swept here by the Boston Red Sox. So he has not won a game. His teams have not won a game since they beat the Giants 4 straight. Remember, they beat the Giants 4 straight, I guess.
1989.
Yeah, when they had the Earthquake Series.
There's a strike to Cabrera.
When they only used 2 pitchers, like Moore and Dave Stewart.
Now strike 2 called to Cabrera. 1-2 to count.
And so they swept the Giants. They were swept by the Cincinnati Reds in 1990. And they're on the verge of, being swept here unless they can come up with a big rally in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, and they still have a game tomorrow.
Still have a game tomorrow, of course.
Look out. Right over the head of Cabrera. He hits the deck. And it's 2-2 now to Cabrera, who has lined out to left center, walked. He's lined a single and lined a double. He's hit the ball hard every time he's been up there tonight. And here he took a 91-mile-an-hour fastball right over his head. 2-2 the count to Cabrera. Now Tavares delivers. Swinging a foul off the foot of Cabrera. You know, Tavares was fined $10,000 when he threw a fastball right over the head of Jeff Bagwell after he had given up a home run that put the Cardinals behind in the league championship series. He's appealing that fine. Although it was interesting, he got fined a big fine, but he didn't get thrown out of the game by the umpires.
Correct.
2-2 the count. Here's Tavares, the slender right-hander. He throws. Swing and a drive into center. Going back is Edmonds. Reaches up, makes the catch. That ball hit well again by Cabrera. Another high fastball, and you pointed that out earlier, Joe.
And you get the ball in the middle of the plate, and he's going to hammer it.
Nobody on.
John, I must say this. I'm a little surprised that that's the first time they've knocked Cabrera down. I watched him slide into second base and throw his elbow at Renteria in Boston a couple of times. I saw him do the same thing to Miguel Cairo of the Yankees, and I thought, eventually somebody's going to, knock him down or something, and I guess Tavares was the one to do it.
Now Ramirez, and a fastball in there for a strike to Manny, who is homered. Flied out to right, single homer run, and walk. He's 2 for 3, 2 batted in the game.
And also, I might add that you mentioned Tavares was fined when he threw over the head of Jeff Bagwell. He said he'd pay his fine when Pedro paid his for hitting A-Rod.
Now a fastball inside. Yeah.
After Jeter cleared the bases in Boston, he hits A-Rod with the next pitch.
Jeter hit a 3-run double to put the Yankees ahead in Game 5. And then A-Rod just got drilled right in the elbow
for the next pitch. And I'm sure Tavares saying, well, I didn't hit anybody.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's a called strike to the outside. 1-2 to Manny. But the other thing that happened, after he drilled A-Rod, we really never heard from A-Rod again in that series. And we hardly ever heard from the rest of the Yankees the rest of that series. That was the high water mark in their Waterloo, their Gettysburg. They were pretty well dismantled the rest of the way. There's a slider that misses low. 2-2 to Manny Ramirez. So Pedro may well say, well, whatever they find me, I'll make up in my World Series share, which the winner's share should be over $300,000. Although the Red Sox are very magnanimous when they have the voting for full shares. They voted Nomar Garciaparra a full share. There's a slider, swung on and missed. He struck it out. So Tavares strikes out his old teammate and his old friend, Manny Ramirez. They came up together in the Cleveland Indians organization. Played in a World Series together with Cleveland as the rain starts to fall in St. Louis. Umbrellas sprout. Rain slickers come on. Keith Folk is coming in for the bullpen, and the Cardinals are 3 outs away from being down 3-0 in this World Series. 4-0 Boston, last of the ninth. It's the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the United States Postal Service.
Big and tall-sized men, don't despair. MH Grover & Sons has your perfect fit. Get today's fall fashions in the sizes you need. Columbia ski jackets, 3-in-1 in sizes up to 6XL. Winter coats up to 7XL. Suits up to size 70. Jeans up to size 72. Shoes up to size 17. Get hot names like Nautica, Pele, and Jack Victor. MH Grover & Sons, 4741 Wellington, corner 3rd Avenue in Verdun. Or call 769-3771. MH Grover & Sons. They never met a man they could not handle.
Hi, I'm Michael Franco from Michael's Used Furniture World. It's moving season, and I'd like to invite you to my showroom of high-quality used furniture and accessory pieces. New items arrive daily, so you're sure to find something to match your taste. Let someone else pay $2,500 for a sofa set. Michael has it for a fraction of the price. We have one-of-a-kind antique pieces, too. So come visit us at Michael's Used Furniture World, Jean Talon, just west of Côte-Neige, or call 344-1993. We deliver.
Want to head south this winter? Book your company party at La Scratch West Island before December 5th, and your company can win an all-inclusive trip for 2 to Cuba. Give it to your top employee, draw it as a prize at your own party, or keep it for yourself. We won't tell. Space is limited, so your odds are fabulous. Call 683-5000 for info on party packages including private rooms, generous buffets, and specials on billiards and drinks. Head south, courtesy of Cambrian Travel, 313 Dorval Avenue, and La Scratch West Island, Pierrefonds Boulevard, Corner Sources.
VeryPayment.com, how may I help you?
Hi, I run a website and I'd like to begin accepting credit cards online.
Well, you've come to the right place. VeryPayment.com offers merchant accounts for websites all over the world.
And what separates VeryPayment from the competition?
Service and security. VeryPayment.com provides the highest level of personalized service and uses advanced security techniques to ensure that you and your customers will never be the victim of online fraud.
Sounds great. Where do I sign up?
At VeryPayment.com, your online verified payment solution.
Chance for the Cardinals in Game 3. They're down 4-0. The top of the order's coming up against Keith Folk, the Red Sox closer who saved the best for last this year. Folk, who wasn't always the dominant closer that the Red Sox were hoping he would be during the season, but he has been in this postseason, and sometimes for 2 innings or even more at a time. And here's the scoring summary now, brought to you by the National Association of Realtors. Buying a home? Ask your agent if they're a realtor, a member of the National Association of Realtors. The Red Sox got the only run that so far they've needed when Manny Ramirez hit a home run in the first inning. They added another run in the fourth on an RBI single by Nixon, and 2 in the fifth on RBI singles by Ramirez and Miller. They lead 4-0. Last of the ninth, Renteria, Walker, and Pujols try to get something going for the Cardinals. The pitch to Renteria, and a fastball is just off the outside for ball 1. It's Minkevich at first, Pokey Reese, who came out in the 8th inning, at second, Cabrera at short, Miller at third, Ramirez in left, Damon in center, and Kapler in right. This is Boston's best defensive alignment. It's a swing and a high drive down the right field line, off into the corner, and disappearing from our view is the right fielder Kapler, and the ball is back and out of play. So the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike to Renteria, who is 1 for 3. Nobody has reached base for the Cardinals since Renteria doubled in the 3rd inning. Now a changeup, and that's a little bit low. 2 balls and a strike to Renteria. 4-0. Boston leading in the last of the 9th inning. The way Folk has been pitching in this postseason, you figure this is a piece of cake for him. There's a swing and a high foul Off the right field line. That was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Fouled out of play. Now it's 2-2. Walker on deck. Pujols due up third. In this entire postseason, Keith Foulke has pitched 12 shutout innings. No runs and only 5 hits allowed in 12 innings. He throws. And a little bit low. I don't know if that was a changeup.
Changeup.
I guess so. Foulke has already pitched 3 shutout innings in this World Series. 3-2 the count. Pitch on the way. Swung on and missed a fastball, and Renteria did not swing at it until it was in the catcher's glove.
It looked like he must have been looking for a changeup, and I don't know why. It was a fastball right down the middle. I mean, he was completely fooled, like he was looking for a 3-2 changeup.
Man, if one at bat would say it all about the Cardinals' night, that was it.
Yeah, because I mean, he has a 4-run lead. You know that he's not going to walk the leadoff hitter. He's going to come after you with the fastball.
Here's Walker. He is walked, grounded into a double play, and popped up to second. He lifts a high pop-up, foul, third base side. Bill Miller races over to the box seat railing, but the ball is back about 6 rows in amongst the spectators, out of play.
And it's interesting you mentioned, Walker. I mean, he had a great first game, 4 base hits. He has not had a base hit since.
He was 0 for 4 in Game 2 on Sunday. Tonight, though, he had a very productive out.
Yes.
He made an out doing exactly what he intended to do. It should have knocked in a run and set up another run, but that's not the way it turned out. Now the pitch, swing and a pop-up, foul off to the left again. Miller starts over again, but this one is well back out of play, 15, 16 rows behind the Boston dugout. Albert Pujols on deck. 4-0, Boston ahead. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan on ESPN Radio. The Red Sox are 2 outs away from going up 3-0 in this World Series, and 2 outs away from their 7th consecutive win against the Yankees and the Cardinals. Swinging a drive deep into center. Way back there. That ball is gone. A home run. Into the stands, into left center field, and Larry Walker becomes the first Cardinal even to reach base since the 3rd inning. 18 in a row have been retired since that time. But it is now 4-1 Boston.
Well, if you're the Cardinals, if nothing else, it avoids the shutout.
Walker has his 2nd home run of this World Series. But avoiding the shutout is not exactly what the Cardinals are looking at.
Yeah, but you got to look for something in that cloud, that dark cloud.
There's ball 1 too high to Pujols. They still need to get 2 more base runners before they can send a possible tying run to the plate. If Pujols and Roland can get aboard, Edmonds would be the possible tying run. There's a swing. A high drive. Left center. Manny Ramirez back. He's under it now at the edge of the warning track, and he makes the catch. Out number 2.
He just missed that. He got under it just enough. That was a fly ball rather than a long line drive, rather than a big fly.
2 down, and that leaves it to Roland. Roland has walked, grounded out to third, grounded out to first, and is hitless in the World Series. He is 0 for 10. Everybody standing at Busch Stadium, hoping for a miracle at this point. There's a fastball for a strike to Roland. The Cardinals got 9 runs in Game 1, but gave up 11. They overcame 2 big deficits in that game and still lost it. 1 strike pitch. And a changeup runs inside for a ball. They were down 7-2. They came back to tie it. In the 8th inning, they were down 9-7 and tied it and still lost it. But since then, they've only scored 3 runs in 2 games. 2 down, nobody on. Jim Edmonds would be next. The 1-1 pitch. Swing, and there's a high drive. Down the left field line into the corner. Hooking foul. And that one had home run distance and then some. But it was 25 feet or so foul. He golfed at that low changeup and hit it well. 4-1, the Red Sox lead. The Cardinals 1 run and 4 hits in this game after getting 2 runs and 5 hits in Game 2 at Fenway. Now Keith Folk, the 1-2 pitch. Fastball to the inside corner, strike 3 called. The ball game is over, and Roland ends up in an argument with the plate umpire, Brian Gorman, expressing frustration in that at bat and in the series, which has seen him go 0 for 11, and the Cardinals go down 3 games to none. The Boston Red Sox are 1 victory away after 86 years of winning a World Series for the first time since 1918. And Pedro Martinez, maybe in his final game as a Red Sox, he was outstanding.
Well, I knew Pedro would pitch well, and the key was how well would Suppan pitch to keep them in the game. And Suppan pitched well enough to keep them in the ball game. They had chances to score in the first couple of innings. They did not take advantage of those. Pedro found his rhythm, as good pitchers can do, and after that, it was all over. It wouldn't have mattered how well Suppan pitched after the second inning.
Manny Ramirez led the way with a first-inning homer to give the Red Sox the lead. He drove in 2 runs all told, had a big defensive play. He's standing by in the field with Dan Shulman.
Manny, again, you guys score first. Your home run in the first inning. Tell us about the at-bat.
I was just trying, to get a good pitch to hit and drive the ball, He gave me a good pitch to drive, and I went deep.
How much fun are you having right now?
It's unbelievable, when you got a group of guys like Millard, David, and the rest of the guys, we keep it so relaxed out there. But we also know we're 3-0 right now, so we learned from what we did against the Yankees, and we can relax out there. We got to keep going until we make the last out.
Well, barely a week ago, you're down 3-0. Does it all seem real right now?
It is real, but, the Cardinals, man, they got a great offense, and you got to keep going against those guys because they're such a great team out there that anything could happen out there.
Good luck. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, man.
Manny Ramirez, a home run and 2 RBIs. Back to you.
All right, Dan, thank you, and congratulations to Manny. And Pedro Martinez wins his 2nd game in this postseason, and the 6th postseason win of his rather illustrious career, but of course the first time he's won one in a World Series. So congratulations to Pedro Martinez. Really the one thing lacking in his resume up till now.
Yeah, and you're right, but he did it in a different way than we are accustomed to seeing Pedro pitch. He did not do it with an overpowering fastball. He did it with a masterful pitching job. He kept the ball down. He changed speeds. He used both sides of the plate. I thought he was masterful tonight. I'm used to seeing him when he's on top of his game blowing guys away, but tonight, I have to tell you, you got to tip your hat to him and say this guy knows how to pitch.
So Pedro, if that was his final performance in a Red Sox uniform, what a way to go out.
Exactly.
And Pedro Martinez, who was, and still, I think if you ask any Red Sox fan, they'll say Pedro is the greatest pitcher in the history of the Red Sox. And tonight, he lived up to that moniker, that's for sure. The Cardinals had their chances to get to him early on, and they ran themselves out of 2 different innings. And then Pedro, that was 2 more innings than you can afford to run yourself out of against Pedro.
Well, they had the opportunity in the first inning with the bases loaded after he had walked 2 out of the last 3 hitters and given up a base hit to the third, and they tried to score on a pop-up behind shortstop. Again, it's great to be aggressive, but you just can't make mistakes like that. And like I said, if a runner on third, nobody out, 1 out, you try it, okay. But you had the bases loaded. That's a chance to break the game open right there with somebody get an extra base hit. And they let Pedro off the hook. And once they did that, they were in serious trouble.
And again, the 3 big guys, Pujols, Roland, and Edmonds, the 3 100 RBI men, held without an RBI. Again tonight, it was Edmonds who hit that pop-up in a spot where Cardinals fans were hoping for a grand slam or a 2-run single, a 3-run double.
Or at worst, a sacrifice fly.
Yeah, but none of it was there, just a pop fly. And it looked like Jose Oquendo, the third base coach, and Larry Walker tried to make it into a sacrifice fly, but Manny Ramirez would not allow it. And Manny, I thought, played it coolly and calmly. He did not rush the throw. He didn't panic. He just very calmly made that perfect 1 hot throw home.
He took his time, made the throw. And maybe that's the problem. We're not giving the Red Sox enough credit. We've seen them make some mistakes, and we take it as that's what they do. They also can make some smart plays as well.
And Bill Miller, he's the thinking man's player. And he's from this area, from Desmet High School in the St. Louis area, in a World Series back home, standing by on the field with Dan Shulman.
Well, Bill, one night it's Manny, could it be Johnny Damon, Cabrera, Bellhorn. Tonight you had a big hand in it. It seems like a different hero every night.
Well, first and foremost, I just want to thank God, because this is a God-given gift, and he deserves all the attention, and I'm just trying to play out this gift that he's given me. And, that's what makes a team. You try, everybody tries to go out there and be positive, and I'm happy that I was able to contribute in a positive way tonight and get a couple guys in there and do what it takes to win.
How about Pedro on the job he did tonight?
Unbelievable. All of us in there are always excited when he's up on the hill, and we just have a ton of confidence in him, and his ability is just outstanding, and I'm happy. I'm very happy for Pedro.
How does a team play 500 for 3.5 months, and now they're one win away from winning the World Series?
Well, I guess it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Bill Miller, a big hand in the win tonight for the Red Sox. Back to you.
All right, Dan. Bill Miller, 5 for 10 in this World Series, his first. And he's perhaps going to be known for those 3 errors. I mean, that tied an all-time record. But the Red Sox and their fans, I think, are going to linger more on the 500 batting average and the fact that, by and large, he's been an excellent third baseman for them, an anchor on that infield defense ever since he got to Boston.
Right. Well, he's a good player. I mean, and I think, you know what, I said this earlier, but I see it even more so now, that these Cardinals pitchers actually play right into his hand. They can't overpower him. They can't fire him up inside. And therefore, he just handles everything else out over the plate. So, in fact, I expect him to continue to hit well as long as this series goes on.
Boston wins it 4-1. The Red Sox lead this World Series 3-0. The comeback kids, the Red Sox, are 1 win away from a World Series, and with a chance to do something they've never done before. They haven't won a series in 86 years, and even when they were winning all those World Series early in the 20th century, they never swept one. So we'll see tomorrow if, in fact, they can do all of those things that have not been done in this long history of the Red Sox. 4-1 the final tonight. Tonight's game has been brought to you by OnStar. OnStar by GM. And by Cherry Flavor Pepto-Bismol. Pepto's gone cherry. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan. We'll be back in St. Louis with some final thoughts. Dan Shulman and Dave Campbell are standing by with the Hot Wire postgame show as well. Once again, the final tonight from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The Red Sox over the Cardinals 4-1. It was Game 3 of the 2004 World Series on ESPN Radio, presented by the United States Postal Service.